All right, y'all, we give praise, esteem, and honor to the living Elohim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach this day. We pick this up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life. And they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Abba's name, and you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you, but Abba, there's one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. For had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? Well, hallelujah for Yahushua, the word. Let's come over here to 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 4. And saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as from the beginning of the creation. For this they are willingly ignorant of, that by the word of Elohim, Shamahim were of old in the earth, standing out of the water and in the water, whereby the world that then was being overflowed with water perished. But Shamahim and the Arats, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved under fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men. But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day with the Lord is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is one day. The Lord is not slack concerning his promises. Some men count slackness, but is long suffering to us war, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the Shamahim shall pass away with great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat, and the earth also and the works therein shall be burned up. Then all these things shall be dissolved. What manner you to be in all Kadash conduct and godliness, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of Elohim, wherein Shamahim being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for a new Shamahim and a new Arat, wherein dwell righteousness. Shalom, Jay, Trina, and Tavon. Amen. Quran, man. Shalom, man. Quran say his mama had just passed on Thursday. Say she got some of this work, though, before she left here.
Yes, God.
Come over here, man. Isaiah 42, verse 18. Isaiah 42 and 18.
It say, hear ye deaf and look ye blind, that ye may see. Who is blind but my servant, or deaf my messenger that I sent? Who is blind as perfect, and blind as Yahuwah's servant? Seeing many things, but thou observest not, opening the ears, but hear not.
All right.
Yahuwah is well pleased for righteousness' sake. He will magnify the Torah and make it honorable.
That's good right there, right? So that's what we need to talk about, because we ain't get to it. He is well pleased for his righteousness' sake. I need you to slide over here to Jeremiah chapter 23 and verse 1. This 10 pounds of gold right here, man. That's what they call it. Don't you know it's a nigga on Fox News who's currently the champion of this? This fat, bad body bastard work on Fox News, and there's a heavyweight champion of the wrestling promotion. Ain't that about a funky stuff? You ever seen him before? You ever watch Fox News? Who in here watch Fox News? I know you do. You look like you had all four of them on TV at the same time. So you a Democrat nigga, liberal looking boy. You watching CNBC?
23.
It's still liberal leaning, so no matter what it is. I guess all the same. You know Tyus? Tyus. That's the nigga who I'm talking about. Work on Fox News. That nigga know he be watching. You look like you like to watch what that cracker name is? Sean Henry. Look how he laugh. You used to watch Bill O'Reilly, didn't you? They make you uncomfortable. They make you feel like they hate niggas. I mean, he's a residential guy.
I mean, I didn't know how it worked. That's what
I don't want to ask you what the people ask you to do for them tips when they get you.
Hey, that's why I was like, I don't think I would like that person.
I wouldn't give a damn. You have my money. I wouldn't give a damn if you were watching monkeys get hung from a tree. You have my money.
It wasn't about what they watching. I just said, nigga.
Come on, man. Jeremiah 23:1. Shalom, Brother Randall. Amen.
It say, woe be unto the pastor that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, said Yahuwah.
That's right.
Thus said Yahuwah Elohim Yashral against the pastors that feed my people. Ye have
scattered my flock
and driven them away.
You ran them away.
And have not visited them.
Mm-hmm.
Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doings, says Yahuwah.
All right.
And I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all countries where I have driven them, and I will bring them again into their fold.
And they fold.
And they shall be fruitful and increase.
Increase.
And I will set up shepherds over them which shall feed them, and they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed.
No more fear.
Neither shall they be lacking, says Yahuwah.
That's right.
Behold, the days come, says Yahuwah.
The days what?
The days come.
What's going to happen in the
will raise unto David a righteous branch.
A righteous what?
A righteous branch.
And what else?
And the king shall reign and prosper.
And what his name going to be called?
And execute judgment and justice in the earth. In the days of Yehuda shall be saved, and Yashral shall dwell safely. And this his name whereby he shall be called.
What's his name?
Is Yahuwah our righteous.
Now I want you to get a definition, man. Yahuwah our righteous. That's right, Quran. Well, you walked out of there like one of the white women upstate. How you got that bag, that thing on your head? You look like you look at somebody and say, I never.
I'll be.
Well, I never. So notice it's called Yahuwah Zedek. Why is that important? Why is that important? I was talking to somebody, man, last week or so, and I let me know, we done talked about this passage before. It's in Psalm. He said, I only make mention of one thing. What did David say was the only thing he'll make mention of?
The righteousness of Yahuwah.
The righteousness of Yahuwah, and that's it. But notice that he said the man's name, who would be to execute judgment, would be Yahuwah Zedek. Yahuwah's righteousness. Now, we know that ain't no name. But let's go look at Romans 10:1, and let's take a look.
It said, brother, my heart desire and prayer to Elohim is for Yashral.
That they might be what?
That they might be saved. For I bear them record that they have a zeal of Elohim, but not according to knowledge.
Not according to what?
Knowledge. For they being ignorant of Elohim's righteousness.
Being ignorant of what?
Of Elohim's righteousness.
Of what?
Of Elohim's righteousness.
Come on.
And going back to establish their own righteousness.
Their own what?
Their own righteousness.
They have not?
They have not submitted themselves
to the righteousness
of Elohim.
And guess what? Listen to him.
For the Mashiach is the end of the law for the righteous.
Hamashiach is the purpose of the law. Not that it puts the law to end. He is the purpose, the rhyme, the reason of the law. Go ahead.
For righteousness to everyone that believes.
That's right.
For Moses described the righteous which is of the law, that the man which doeth all those things shall live by it.
See, Paul, remember what we were talking about last night? We were talking about this last night, man. You know what I'm saying? That a lot of people, they want their righteousness derived from the law. See, even when we were sitting back talking about them spirits in prison, why they got to hear some words? So that they could get the righteousness of faith, which was shut up. And we read Deuteronomy 30. Continue.
It says, but the righteousness of faith speaketh on this wise.
What I speak?
Say not in thine heart, who shall ascend unto Shamahim.
See, that's that Deuteronomy 30.
That is to bring the Mashiach down.
That's right.
Or who shall descend into the deep. That is to bring the Mashiach again.
That's right.
From the dead. But what saith it?
What it say?
The word is nigh thee, even in thy mouth.
And in your.
And in thy heart.
That you should.
That is the word of faith.
Which we preach. That's what he said. Give me Luke 17, man, and 14, man. No, they call you Civic 2 phone.
Get the papers.
Luke 17:14.
And when he saw, he said unto them, Go show yourselves unto the priests. And it came to pass that as they went, they were cleansed. And one of them, when he saw that he was healed, turned back, and with a loud voice esteemed Elohim, and fell down on his face at his feet, giving him thanks. And he was a Samaritan. And Yahushua answering said, Were there not 10 cleansed?
Wasn't there 10 people around here?
But where are the 9?
Where the other ones at?
There are not found that return to give esteem to Elohim, save this stranger.
Right, bastard.
And he said unto him, Arise, go your way. Your faith hath made you whole.
Your what made you whole?
Your faith.
Your what?
Your faith.
So it's again, he's Yahuwah, your righteousness. That's what's gonna make you whole. So let me tell you something, man. And I mean, like I said, right, a lot of these Hebrew niggas goofy as hell. You know what I'm saying? They don't really believe the word. They just want to be seen. See, all these niggas, I just seen a clip, man, a reel. I wasn't looking for the reel. But the reel was talking about niggas who was raised by their mama have a propensity to reject other men and look for broken women to love, thinking that they can fix her like their mama was broken because their daddy or whatever men she was dealing with didn't fix their mama. You know what I'm talking about? And I mentioned that only for one reason, not because niggas got something messed up in their brain by trying to heal somebody and because they want to heal their mama. But you can see that with a lot of niggas call themselves being in the word. You know what I'm saying? Always simping and pandering, always not wanting to be around men. Yeah, man, go get you a therapist, my nigga. Because clearly the Lord ain't helping you out. So maybe you need to get somebody on this natural plane before you can go holler at him on the neck. You know what I'm talking about? Because you can see that with a lot of these dudes, man, attention mongering. You know what I'm talking about? And the stuff that they be doing, man, is real feminine. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, man, go talk to your mama then, man. See why she made them bad decisions. You know what I'm talking about? We were just watching a movie like that the other night. That stuff was horrible. The woman was selling drugs with her sons. That wasn't what made it bad. One of her sons said, well, maybe if you wouldn't be so stupid, then she want to slap her. Talking about the lack of boundaries made you think I'm one of your little friends. You think, ho? You think?
Hey, go sit.
It is. No, but that woman was extra stupid too. Y'all ever seen a film where a character be so dumb, you be like, I don't want to watch this anymore. Sounds like you just watched one of those yesterday. You know what I'm saying? But all jokes, shalom, brother Ellis. All jokes aside, though, it's hampering to a lot of dudes because you can see them because they on a mission. Because a lot of stuff they doing, it ain't about the woman they with. They see their mama. So a lot of dudes, when they get in and they want to lead, they leading from a position of weakness because you don't have the masculinity. See, it's a lot of dudes, man. Let me tell you something real, right? A lot of dudes want to preach to be a leader of men because under no other circumstance in life would they believe or think that any group of men would listen to them. So it helps them validate themselves as a man. Look, I got a bunch of men who will listen to me. You know what I'm talking about? Because you goofy as hell. You's a lame, you's a square, and you ain't submitting yourself to Yahuwah's righteousness. How do we know that? Because you don't believe it. See, go back to the Jeremiah 23 and 5, because let's go back to something we were talking about last night. I didn't want to make sure y'all ain't overlooked that. 23 and 5.
It says, behold, the days come, says Yahuwah, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and the king shall reign and prosper and shall execute judgment.
Execute what?
Judgment.
What else he gonna do?
And justice.
And justice.
In the earth.
Give him. So you know what that is, right? That's Mishpat and Sadat. What did he say were the weightier matters of the law? Don't tell me. Okay. Matthew 23 and 23. The Lord gonna tell you. Let me tell you something real, man. Don't listen to nobody who ain't got these 2 things, 3 things he finna say right here. That nigga ain't hitting on nothing. Matthew 23 and 23.
It say, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites. For ye pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin.
You got all the tithes.
And omitted the weightier matters of the law.
You omitting those.
Judgment, mercy, and faith.
Judgment, mercy, and faith. Let me tell you something real, right? You dealing with a goofy. Trying to teach the word. Out of those 3 things, what's the main one he like to talk about, but don't mention the others? Mercy. Mercy. They love to talk about some mercy, right? But when it comes to some judgment and faith, you know what they is? Yeah, deaf mute. You ever seen a deaf mute? You seen one before? Y'all ever seen a deaf mute?
Not in real life.
I done seen one in real life. It's different because they can't talk, they can't hear. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? And I've only seen one, and that was by chance. You know what I'm talking about? But that's a different type of individual. That's what a nigga who preaching the word and he don't want to talk about judgment and faith. He a deaf mute. You know why that's important? Because we just were talking about that in Isaiah 42 last night. He said they blind and they can't see. But where's the place where we can look at to see they are mute? To go along with them being a deaf mute. It is double cup, man.
Oh, that's
Hey man, they gonna have your mans on Clubhouse. You know what I'm saying? You catch the interview, 4 o'clock. So you ain't gonna check out Kanye, man? That how you feel? Man, you so lame. That man say he made music just for you, to get you through hard times. No, I ain't being funny though. I ain't being funny though. It's a proof in the interview him at 4 o'clock. That was no joke. I only thought about it because I seen that Adidas t-shirt.
You see Adidas, you think he.
I think of Adidas, I think of poor craftsmanship on football jerseys all across the country.
I ain't gonna lie though. What's your comment straight?
Only good looking college jersey they make right now, the Miami Hurricanes.
I was gonna say,
Quran just got it, but who could tell me where it's at?
I'm trying to find it.
Come on, hit Isaiah 29.
Man, I was almost there. I was 32.
Isaiah 29, man, probably about verse 5.
Walking down.
You could make it one.
It says, woe to Ariel, the city. David dwelt. Add ye years.
Ariel is representative of Jerusalem, by the way.
It says, add year to year and let them kill sacrificing. Yet I will distress Ariel, and there shall be heaviness and sorrow, and it shall be unto me as Ariel. And I will camp against thee round about, and will lay siege against thee with the mount.
See what that is? Remember, we did this off camera though. We were reading that in Job 19. When he say when we were talking about Peter, who in here didn't hear? Who in here don't know why Peter denied it? Who don't know where it's written that Peter would deny the Lord? Y'all know where it's at? You know where it's at, Doris? Yeah, you probably blacked out from all the doggone whooping on civic you were doing. Say, don't say that on camera, they're gonna arrest you. You can hold your own in jail. You know you're a Brooklyn nigga. Oh, yo. Well, you live in Brownsville. You say you from Bed-Stuy. They say it's do or die. So you ain't got that in you. See? See, she tried to act like she all nice and sweet, kind and feminine. Whole time that nigga got a razor under her tongue. You know what I'm talking about? And a knife in her boot. You know what I'm saying? You know the New York nigga gotta walk around with knives in their boots. You never know when you have to cut a nigga. Hold on, y'all. Come on, man. Isaiah 29, what verse again?
Number 3.
Okay, hold on. That's right. I was talking about the jump Peter. That Jimmy was calling that through. Come over here to Job 19 and 6, or 19 and 5. This so y'all know why Peter denied him. I know I mentioned this, but it was off camera.
If indeed you magnify against me and plead against me my reproach, know now that Elohim hath overthrown me. And
who overthrew him?
Elohim.
He said, you'd have no power against me at all unless it were given to you from Shamahim. Come on.
And have compassed me with his net. Behold, I cry out of wrong, but I am not heard.
He cry out of what?
I cry out and I'm not heard.
Now, remember, I mentioned that to y'all again. That's what? Elohim, Elohim. Why have you forsaken me? Why is he crying out wrong? Habakkuk chapter 1. See, this also going to lead me into what we talking about in Job 2. When he say that wrong judgment proceed. The law tell you that he'll never justify the wicked over the righteous. That's why Habakkuk tell you that wrong judgment proceed. That's so you understand that when you suffering for the word's sake, that your soul won't be left in hell, because you know what I'm talking about? Right, saith the Ruach, blessed are those who die in the Lord from henceforth, and their works do follow them. You understand? Because wrong judgment is going to proceed. And that's why a lot of people are not going to hold on to the word when they see wrong judgment proceed. Because they're going to be sitting back looking at what the word say. This ain't supposed to happen to us. That's why I say we have no root in them. And by when persecution and tribulation arrive because of the word, they are offended. A lot of these niggas gay as hell, man. A lot of these niggas soft as drugstore cotton. You know what I'm talking about? And green as a pool table, man. They don't understand they got the rules missing. So they ain't gonna hold on to it. Come on, man.
To have a one.
No, I wasn't reading. I was listening.
I know, that's why I asked before we proceeded. It said, I cry out wrong, but I'm not heard. I cry alone, but there is no judgment.
No judgment.
Loud, there's no judgment. He hath fenced up my way that I cannot pass. He hath set darkness in my path.
Mm-hmm.
He hath stripped me of my esteem and hath taken the crown from my head.
Notice he made him a little lower than the angels for the sufferings of death. Took the crown from off my head for what?
He have destroyed me on every side. I am gone, and my hope have he removed like a tree.
Mm-hmm.
He have also kindled his wrath against me, and he counteth me unto him as one of his enemies.
That's right.
His troops come together.
His what?
His troops come together.
And what happened?
And raise up their way against me.
Give me Genesis 49 and I think it's 14. I don't know. 49 and 14. Don't ask nobody else in my classroom. You and your baby can go to summer school. You must ain't seen my grade book. Genesis 49 and 14.
It said Issachar a strong ass.
Give me 16. Just give me Gad and call the verse out.
19.
Genesis 49 and 19.
It said Gad, a truth shall overcome him.
What shall overcome him?
A truth
what
shall overcome him.
Pause. Give him Matthew 27, man. Is it 27? Is it 26? It's 26. Give him Matthew 26 and 45. I don't even think it's 45 verses, but we'll find out.
Then come he to his disciples and said unto them, Sleep on now and take rest. Behold, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners.
Go ahead.
Rise, let us be going. Behold, he is at hand that do betray me.
Go ahead.
And while he yet spake low, Judas, one of the 12, came, and with him a great multitude.
A great who?
Great multitude.
He had a troop.
Multitude.
He had a troop with him. Go ahead.
With swords and staves from the chief and elders of the people.
Say you gonna come out against me like a thief with swords and staves?
Now he that betrayed him gave them a sign, saying, Whomsoever I shall kiss, that same is he. Hold him fast. And forthwith he came to Yahushua and said, Hail, master, and kissed him.
Kissed him.
Yahushua said unto him, Friend, wherefore are you come?
Where you coming from?
And then came they and laid hands on Yahushua and took him. And behold, one of them in which Yahushua stretched out his hand and drew a sword.
He cut it up that fire.
He struck a servant of the high priest and smote off his ear.
He did what for him?
Smote off his ear.
That's right.
Then said Yahushua unto him, Put up again your sword into its place, for all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword.
Shall perish with the sword.
Think you that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of Malachim? But how then shall the scriptures be fulfilled that this it must be?
That's good. Hold on 1 second, man. Let me find that joint. When the Lord looked at Peter, turned over there and looked at him. We gotta go over there when he turned over there and looked at him. Well, you always talking about something, man. What you over there talking about? Hasha Tapto.
I know.
I don't want to. That's one way. It's literally talk about he just turned around. It might have been John. Luke, I should say. But for the moment, man, go to Mark 14, man.
Good Mark.
Man, go to Mark 14 and 66. I'm trying to find what it is that I wrote. Mark 14 and 66.
It say, and as Peter was beneath in the palace, there cometh one of the maids of the high priest. And when she saw Peter warming himself, she looked upon him and said, Art thou also was with Yahushua of Nazareth? Mm-hmm. But he denied, saying, I know not, neither understand what you say. And he went out unto the porch, and the cock crew. And the maid saw him again.
Yeah, I got it. Go ahead.
And the maid saw him again and began to say to them that stood by, this is one of them. And he denied it again. And a little after they stood by, said again to Peter, surely you are one of them, for you are a Galilean, and thy speech agreed.
Yeah.
But he began to curse and swear, saying, I know not this man of whom you speak.
I don't know this man.
And the second time the cock crew, and Peter called to mind the words that Yahushua said unto him, before the cock crowed twice, thou shalt deny me thrice. And when he thought thereupon, he cried.
Come on over here to Luke 22 and 50. I already got it. I make it 22 and 48. He said, but Yahushua said unto him, Judas betray you, the son of Adam, with a kiss. When they which were about him saw what would follow, they said unto him, Lord, shall we smite with the sword? And one of them smote the servant of the high priest and cut off his right ear. Yahushua answered and said, suffer you thus far. He touched his ear and healed it. Then Yahushua said unto the chief priests and captains of the temple and the elders which will come to him, but you come out against a thief with swords and staves? When I was daily with you in the temple, you stretched forth no hands against me, but this is your hour, the power of darkness. Then we just read in Job, he said he fenced him in with darkness. You know what I'm saying? This is for the power of sin at this particular moment. Then they took him and led and brought him into the high priest's house, and Peter followed after far off. And when they had kindled a fire in the midst of the hall and sat down together, Peter sat down among them. But a certain maid beheld him as he sat by the fire, earnestly looked upon him and said, this man also with him. And he denied him, saying, woman, I know him not. And after a little while, another saw him and said, you are also of them. And Peter said, man, I am not. And about the space of 1 hour after, another one confidently affirmed, saying, of a truth, this also was with him, for he is Galilean. Peter said, man, I know not what you say. And immediately while he yet spake, the cock crew. And the Lord turned and looked upon Peter. And Peter remembered the word of the Lord. And he said unto him, before the cock crowed 3, you shall deny me thrice. And Peter went out and wept bitterly. Now you see, it's a lot of people don't know why that went down the way that went down. And people say a lot of things about Peter. And we mentioned this when we was up north last week. Like, yeah, man, Peter, nah, Peter did that because it was written. Peter didn't know it was written. And y'all know this, I done told you this before. But them boy had to be scattered. Because if not, they would have been killed. And if they would have been killed, then no gospel would have been preached. Or Yahuwah would have had to raise them from the dead so that the work could get done. You know what I'm saying? But as a carnal-minded individual, as they were at that time, they can't understand that. He told them in Matthew, he said, all y'all going to be offended in me. Which is Zechariah 13, which everybody knows. Everybody knows Zechariah, smite the shepherd. That's all they're going to tell you, smite the shepherd. There's more places in there than that.
That ain't all it says.
Ain't all the same. But I'm only saying that because, praise Yahuwah, how many brothers you know have explained to you if you were like, well, why Peter denied him 3 times? Why is that there? Why did he do it? Because people won't understand that. Because when they don't understand it, they talk against that man. Because see, right, this is right. In Matthew, and you seen in Luke and Mark and Luke, they don't mention that was Peter who upped his sword. It's John who make mention that Peter upped his sword. You know what I'm talking about? And I mentioned that last week, and I mentioned it always. Well, if he was a coward and he wasn't with it, he wouldn't have upped his sword. That means that man was willing to die. Then it's another statement that the Lord made in John 18. He said, my kingdom is not of this world. If it was, my servants would fight. That's what he told him then. If it was, my servants would fight. Just understand this here and there. You know what the Lord was telling him? You can think whatever you want to think, boy, but ain't no pussies running with me. Ain't no Kool-Aid pumping through none of these boys' blood. These boys will take you out of here. You know what I'm talking about? And the only reason why they not gonna take you out of here is because of me. Because I'm holding them back. Straight up and down. That's what he told him, didn't he? He said, my servants will what? Get it for him, man. John 18:34. They think it's again.
This is not a game.
John 18:34.
Yahusha answered him, saying,
What he said.
You this thing of yourself, or did others tell it to
Somebody
you?
told you I was the Lord?
Pilate answered, Am I Yahudim? Your own nation and the chief priests have delivered you unto me. What have you done?
What you done did?
My kingdom is not of this world.
My kingdom is not of this world.
My kingdom of this world.
If my kingdom of this world, my servants would fight.
That I should not be delivered to the Yahudim.
So that you wouldn't be able to take me.
But now is my kingdom not from here.
My kingdom ain't so too far away.
Pilate therefore said unto him,
Are you a king then?
Yahushua answered, You said it. To this end was I born.
And for this cause
I came into the world.
That all those
should bear witness unto the truth.
Everyone that is born of the truth.
Hear my voice.
You ain't born of the faith, you ain't gonna hear. If you ain't born of God, you ain't gonna hear. That's just how that goes. You know what that take us back to? You'll have and he shall be called you who are righteous. Everyone that born of the Amuna or the Ma, everyone who is steadfast and faithful, they gonna hear the voice of the Lord. If you ain't steadfast and faithful, you ain't gonna hear. Yeah, that's what he said. That's what I told you last night, man. I ain't being funny, right? You dealing with a nigga, man, he say he in the word, he like to defraud niggas. He ain't a God. I'm talking about consistently. I ain't talking about, okay, he did some junk and he stopped. You dealing with a nigga, he lazy. He don't want to get his pump behind up, go get him some damn money. That nigga ain't a God. Ain't no servant of God. Sat on his butt and scratch his balls. Talking about, it don't matter. Money don't mean nothing. Get your coward behind out of here, nigga. Ain't nobody telling you got to be rich, but you can't be sitting around here on your behind. The man told you you'll live by the sweat of your brow all your days. You around here talking about, my job is to minister for the Lord. You ain't doing nothing tapping on your phone. Nigga, you on the internet. You ain't laboring with nobody in real life. For real, man. You dealing with a nigga like to beat up women? I told you that last night. What I told you to do? No, I told you to do something else. Oh, you missed that part because you was asleep, sobbing on the pillow.
That's right.
Michael, tell him what you supposed to do. See, you left it. No, you supposed to get your boot. Shut it up real nice. Tie it tight. Kick him right in the groin. Firmly. And with haste. And then you leave. Because he ain't going to be able to beat you up after that. He going to be in pain. You got at least a 10-minute head start. Make sure you got your keys in your hands before you do it. You know what I'm talking about? You go around here, sitting around here looking like this here, like, are you in pain? That nigga gonna beat you up. You gotta go. That's not a stand around move. You kick him in the balls and you go. Don't wait around. Because when the pain wear off, that nigga gonna hurt you. You know what I'm saying? You can't go back. It's over. It's over. You send the police back to get your stuff. You just go. Tell you, man, you kick a man in his groin, boy. Y'all ain't gonna be friends no more. No, it said you can't grab a man. And that was dealing with if your man was fighting and you jumped in and then you trying to grab. See, you wasn't trying to hurt the man. You were trying to see what was going on. What you doing? What you doing? And they like to say, how do you do? Y'all knew that was in there, right? You knew that? Oh, you ain't know that, Doris? I can't remember where it's at. Come on, it's in the law. Hold on. I thought you knew about that, Doris. Yeah, you can't be grabbing those strange men by their balls. You're supposed to cut your hand off. Yeah, we gotta cut your hand off. You grab a stranger by the balls now. It's in the book of Deuteronomy.
How he did it like this?
How he did it like this?
Like this.
Deuteronomy 29 and 25, excuse me, and 11. I'm already here. Deuteronomy 25 and 11. Deuteronomy 25 and 11. When men strive together one with another and the wife of one draw near for to deliver her husband out of the hand of him that smite, and put forth her hand and take him by the secrets, then you shall cut off her hand and your eye shall not pity. Never said you couldn't jump in and help him. We done had a conversation before. That nigga getting beat up, you better jump in. So he ain't got to get beat up, he just said try. So you better jump in. You know what I'm saying? Get pots, pans, brooms, bats. Don't be talking about, I'm gonna see if you're a man and whip that nigga. Yeah. Jump in, nigga. I was some of y'all. I just seen a lady talking about could you stay with a nigga if he got beat up in your face. Most women gonna leave. But you know what the sad part is? You can't win every fight.
Gotta be done.
Woman will sit back and look at a nigga, this nigga got beat up. Well, damn, ho, I done had 30 fights, I lose one. You looking at me like I'm just the worst nigga on earth. It's only one nigga ended his career. It's only two people ended their career undefeated.
Supposed to be
Floyd Mayweather and Rocky Marciano. Muhammad Ali didn't leave undefeated. Joe Frazier beat that man brain out his brain. You know what I'm talking about? Now, Muhammad Ali came back and got him a W, but both of them niggas' brains was fried. Do you know Joe Frazier say he was happy to go to his grave knowing that Muhammad Ali's brain was messed up? Because they used to, I'm this here, they used to be friends, and they fell out. They fell out because on the promotion for one of their fights, he felt like, you know what I'm saying, Muhammad Ali was going too far with the disrespect. Because when Muhammad Ali wasn't fighting and he was broke, and who was breaking bread with him? It was Joe Frazier. You know what I'm talking about? Joe Frazier showed a lot of love. Muhammad Ali ain't really mean nothing about it, but you know what type of character he was playing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And he was doing calling the man a coon and all that Joe cracking. And Joe was like, hey man, we can do all that there, but come on, bro. Yeah, because when you were down, boy, I was there for you. And he said he made it his business. He said he wanted to kill that man in the ring. And when he knew that man had Parkinson's disease from all them punches, he said that made him rest well. He'd go to his grave and know that's a part of me with you. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, man, I'm talking about, hey, man, nigga can't win every fight. That ain't even realistic. You know what I'm talking about? I remember one time I told you about it, man, my homegirl, man, she fought this girl from Harlem one time. She had never took an L before. Every chick she a skinny chick too. Every fight she ever been in, she knocking these hoes out. Boy, she ran up on our homegirl from Harlem, boy, she dragged her up and down the sidewalk, literally. You know what I'm talking about? Like, bop, 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 and it just dragged. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about she was humbled after that. She was humbled for a good 3 to 4 months. She ain't never took no L before. You see Deontay Wilder can't take the L now. That white boy beat the brakes off of you. He can't deal with it.
Why you say that?
Because he be on there talking about he cheated. This man still talking about that white man cheated.
Oh, I ain't hear that.
Shoot, he been saying it since the first fight, the second fight, the third fight. Nigga, you've been dominated in 2 fights. Really 3, you just knocked him down. In the first one.
Like gypsy.
Yeah, man, that white boy beat the brakes off you.
Yes, that white boy got hands.
Yeah. Like,
hey, Jabroni, he got knocked down so bad, he can't even remember.
It just be funny because women just, it was a lady who's a UFC fighter, and she said she was dating another UFC fighter, and she left him because I guess in the fight he was in, he kind of covered up. And she was like, how can I be with you after that? Nigga like, well, damn, this man done won 10 fights before this one here. He taking a good old-fashioned whooping, and you looking at him like he just a coward. That nigga said he made him look like a rock'em sock'em robot. No, it's just funny because women think like that. Because a man know like, hey boy, you ain't gonna win them all.
See you later.
You ain't gonna win them all. As big and bad as you might think you is, it's somebody big and bad. As nice as you think you are with your hands, it's somebody nice. And sometimes it might not be your day. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? It just might not be your day. Every move you thought was gonna work, he had a counter for it. You like, damn, this nigga whoop me. Huh? Not often, but if you deal with a lot, dealing with certain women, shoot, fight more often than you would like. You know what I'm saying? But now, see, men are taught different. See, it's the mentality of, you know, a woman taught that, you know, he has to be a protector and this, that, and the third. Men are taught just have the heart to fight. Even if you lose, just have the heart to go into combat. You know what I'm saying? Huh?
I take it along with.
Yeah, that's what men are taught. Like, Had a heart. Just don't sit there and just let a nigga. Yeah, have heart. And you know what I'm saying? If you go down like a man. Don't go around and talk about mama hell.
That's where it comes from. Going down like a man. A man know that. You feel me? Going down is part of it.
Part of. You know what I'm saying? Just go down like a man. Don't sit there and let a nigga just beat on. I told when I first we were talking about the other day, when I first went to prison, man, the old head, man, he really wasn't that much older. Well, he was, but he wasn't. He wasn't old. That nigga like, yeah, young nigga, you go up in there, find the biggest nigga in the dorm and knock that nigga out. You know what I'm saying? I was like, this nigga here, wow, Jimmy had me tripping. He's like, nigga, skinny as I am, you go ahead, I'm gonna hit this nigga, I'm gonna beat up again. And then he was like this. He said, if you don't want to do that, go find the mop bucket, get the mop ringer, and rock one of them niggas. You know what I'm saying? Let them niggas know you ain't to be played with. I said, nigga, wow. But hey, all jokes aside, in that environment, hey, go in the right door. Go in there with them kids. Go to one of them gladiator schools, boy. You're going to have to be ready to bump as soon as you get off the bus. And the main reason why, because they want to see if you a hoe or not. They ain't about if you knock a nigga out. They didn't want to see if you going to fight. You know what I'm talking about? They didn't want to see if you going to stand in the paint or you going to start doing this here. Guard. Guard. Yeah, you done. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you done. Because it's different. We were talking to the ladies about this in the clubhouse room. Like, it's not the same. It's not the same. Y'all, I've told y'all that before. Y'all don't meet women and be like, well, we're going to have to bump with these hoes. So she can know that I'm a woman and not to play with me. Yeah, yeah. But most of us don't. But men, they already know. Like, you can't let a man do anything to you in the sight of other men because then other men will know that he's weak. You're food now. Everyone is going to prey on you. You're going to be a victim for the rest of your days. You know what I'm saying? You're going to live a miserable existence. And that's why some dudes go home and beat up their wife. Because the anger and angst that they want to take out on all these men who sending them to the stove and doing all this stuff to him and slapping them around, and he feel like he can't do nothing to it, he's such a cow when he come home and beat up his old lady. He come home and beat up his church. You know what I'm talking about? Because he want to beat it. Nigga, go who them niggas like that out the door. You gonna get yours, B. Get yours. You know what I'm saying? But see, Carl was soft, but see, he would run his mouth. You know what I'm talking about? So he's a different type of soft. See, you got the soft nigga who just get punked. See, Cuz ain't get punked by nobody but one man. Because he knew he was a hoe. Everybody else just thought it was weird. See, it's different when you're dealing with men. The interaction is different. It's different. You know what I'm saying? It's something y'all won't understand because dudes don't come at you like that because you got something that they want, which is your loins. You know what I'm talking about? So they interact with you a little different. But men, that nigga looking at this nigga like, boy, I'll take everything he got and his hoe. You know what I'm saying? That's how some dudes, if they deem you to be a certain type of man, Quran said he don't like Tyson Fury's fighting style. I don't really know his fighting style. I know he bad about his hell.
He's swinging with throwing the other.
I mean, it's a big man. He's a big man. And that's part of the reason why you seen them come at the Lord like that too. Because, you know, they expected the Messiah, the Mashiach to be a certain type of man. They expected him to be like David. You know what I'm saying? And David was a warrior. So when they were looking at Barabbas, you know what I'm talking about, running an insurrection, murking niggas, you know what I'm saying? They was expecting Mashiach to be like that. Come on, man. We back in Job 19, man. We in verse 10. Or we're actually in verse 12. Job 19 and 12. I didn't be telling y'all that so y'all know it's a difference. And that difference is why a mother could never, ever prepare her boy for manhood. She doesn't understand those interactions. She don't know what that's like. And that ain't her fault. Why would she know what it's like?
It says his troops come together and raise up their way against me and encamp round about my tabernacle. He had put my brother far from me.
He put his what?
My brother far from me.
And my acquaintance
are verily estranged from me.
Now give him estranged and acquaintance. Boy, pick it up before we pick you up. Come on, Joseph. Take a trip with me.
Acquaintance is Yahweh.
Yeah, strange is or to be strange, to be a stranger.
To be a stranger.
I must say commit adultery.
To be a stranger. Well, guess what? Didn't Peter just say, man, I don't know that man? He just told him, hey, man, he a stranger. I don't know that man. Your daddy coming for you. Now you want to pick it up.
What's up, man?
Come on, man. Verse 14.
It says, my kinfolk have failed.
Am I familiar?
Friends have forgotten me.
Now look at familiar friends.
Familiar friends is one word, yada.
People who you know. What is forgotten?
Forgotten is shakak, to mislay, to want from memory, to forget.
He forgot him. I don't know this man. Didn't he say 3 times you'll deny me? I don't know this man. Come on, keep going. Verse 15.
They that dwell in my house and my maids count me for a stranger. I am an alien in their sight.
Remember, stranger means it's somebody unfamiliar. I don't know this man. Then he said, I'm an alien in their sight.
I called my servant and he gave no answer.
I entreated him.
With my mouth.
My breath.
It's strange to my wife.
I entreated him.
For the children's sake of my own body.
Yea.
Young children despise me.
I arose.
And they spake
He said, if you be Mashiach, come down from that tree. All my inward friends
abhorred me.
And they whom I have loved
turned against me.
That's just what happened with Peter. That's just what happened with Peter. That's just what happened with Peter. And I'm just giving you that because there's more places. That's why he denied. Because it's written. It's not by happenstance. It's written. Come on back to Isaiah 42, man. Oh, let me talk because it's been a while since we talked about this here, right? When you're dealing with judgment, mercy, and faith, what does that say to you? What type of person does that tell you that this man is? I want you to think about the definition of the 3 words in Hebrew, if you would. So that means if you don't know them, you might want to look them up. You should know judgment in Hebrew is what? So that means he has the ability to do what? To be able to determine right from wrong. Now, when you're dealing with faith, it depends on which one you want to use. Do you want to use a ma? Do you want to use a muni? Do you want to use a mom? But then when you're dealing with mercy, you know what I'm talking about? You want to use kased. That's loving kindness. That's mercy. So what does this mean about an individual? This means that this person is steadfast, they're reliable, they're compassionate, and they know right from wrong. So what does that also tell you? This is a person who is steadfast in everything they do, and in their compassion, they can still check you. And they're checking you because they're concerned for your well-being. But see, you can't have the other two. See, this is the goofy stuff with a lot of groups. They want the judgment and the mercy, but with no faith. Matter of fact, most of them don't even want the judgment. The reason why they want the mercy, why do you think so many groups always talk about mercy? Where the mercy? Where the mercy? You ain't got no mercy, brother. You ain't got no compassion. You know why they do that? Why do you think they do that, Glory? It ain't even for the excuse. What they want is this, and that is correct. They want the mercy for themselves because they know what they're doing. See, they don't want to talk about the judgment because then that's going to expose that they're wrong. So I already know that I'm wrong, so let all the focus be on the mercy so I don't feel as bad about being wrong. And since I want all the attention to be on the mercy, and because I don't want to acknowledge that I'm being wrong, then I can actually never be faithful because I can never be steadfast because I don't like doing what's right. Which means we can't do what we were talking about last night with dedication. Now you can't sanctify the house. And when you can't sanctify the house is of no good. See, you can't have nothing without the faith, which is why he will be called you who are right. Without the faith, you have nothing. Because you're not going to get to the judgment. And you know what that goes back to? What we were talking about Wednesday, when he said what? A wise man attain unto wise counsels to get knowledge, justice, judgment, and equity. You know what I'm talking about? And the fear of Yahuwah is the beginning of knowledge. So the reverence and respect For the faithfulness of Yahuwah is what is going to cause you to get the da'at, which is the knowledge of Elohim, which will give you the kokma, which is the wisdom, which is the skill, which will give you the benay, which is the insight, which will manifest the judgment, the mercy, and the faith, knowing that he showed mercy on you when he didn't have to, and therefore he has instructed you in what is just, and because of that, you remain faithful. And that's why these goofy niggas don't like talking about it. You know what I'm talking about? That's why they like to shift that focus. And you know why? Because they their mama's son, they their daddy's son. And when I say that they mama's son, you are the earth, nigga. You are Adam's son. You ain't the son of Abed Shamin. Ain't no way. You understand what I'm saying? You know that's the word for ground, right? You knew that, right? Adam. Why is that important? What's Adam name? I just told you. And guess what the ground called? Adam. And what does that tell you? Male and female created he them. Because the woman came from where? And Adam came from the dust. You know what I'm talking about? So it's showing you that Adam's mother was Jerusalem, just like the book telling Jerusalem is the mother of us all. See how that works? Because the Garden of Eden is going to be all that. It's all the same. It's all the same. They ain't telling the same story. And it also show you how Adam was born of a what? Of a virgin. Because what does the law say about that ground? He said he had no man to do what? To till it. No man had ever worked that ground. No man had ever touched that ground. No ever seed had ever been put in that ground. You know what I'm saying? And I was explaining that. Shalom, man. I was explaining that to brothers the other day. You know what I'm talking about? Like, hey, like, if he the second Adam, he got to be made in the same framework of Adam. And you know what else that make us too? Now that this come to my mind, let me ask y'all this question, right? Now this is a little different with Adam. Did Adam have a beginning and an ending? Does Adam have a beginning and an ending? And he does. Does Adam have a father and a mother? No, he don't have no father, no mother. He didn't know. Ain't no man came out and pulled out no penis and impregnated anyone. No. No. He didn't have a father and a mother. You know why that's important? Because what does the book say about Melchizedek? He didn't have no father and no mother. So what is also the leaning that tells us about what Adam was? That he would be the first, because at the end of the day, Adam held a lot of offices at one time. Because if Adam was also high priest also. See, this is King Wise statement here, right? Adam wouldn't have had a beginning and an end either if they just would have ate from that tree of life. He'd have had no end of days whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? Like Quran did mention, he fivefold. See, Adam was everything. Adam was a priest, high priest. He was an apostle. He was a prophet. He was a teacher. He was a pastor. He was all of those things. You know what I'm talking about? And the king. How do we know he was a king? Because he had dominion. He was all of these things. And he was a lawgiver. Because who gave it to Eve? He did. Now, see, an evangelist is a little different. Because do y'all remember what the definition of an evangelist is? Because it's usually not. That's right, he was king of the whole earth. Because it's usually not what most of us think that an evangelist is.
Oh, travel.
Yeah, that's usually the connotation, but that ain't what it means. Look at him. Cheeseburger. You having a hard day? Come over here to Acts 21. Acts 21 and 8. Go ahead.
And the next, we that were of Paul's company departed, came unto Caesarea, and we entered into the house of Philip the evangelist, which was of the seven, and abode with him. And the same man had 4 daughters, virgins, which did prophesy.
They say 4 daughters who were what?
Virgins.
Listen, right? This is the word for evangelist. It's euangelites. It's a bringer of good tidings and evangelist. The name given to the New Testament heralds of salvation through Hamashiach, who are not apostles. So what does that mean? These are men who had the gospel but didn't receive it like the apostles received it. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because if they were an apostle, they would have got it by revelation. Ah, you got a compound hat? They around here, that 7 hat represents Shekinah. You got a bear on your shirt. It's gonna bite you. Still on, man. So, what was that for? Come here, Lizzie. Tubby. Abby.
Isaiah 42.
What's up, boy? Good. Cut your face. Hey, Buffett. Where we was at? Job 19, we good with that.
That was Isaiah 42.
Come on back to Isaiah 42.
Yep.
Verse 21.
Yep.
Leah.
It say Yahuwah is well pleased for righteousness' sake.
So boom, that's delight. That's kafats that's there. Matthew 17 and 5. What's wrong with you?
It says, while he yet spake, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them, and behold, a voice out of the cloud which said, this is my beloved son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him.
This is my who?
This is my beloved son, in whom I am well pleased.
Now here's the question. He says, right? What did he say? Yahuwah say he's well pleased for in Isaiah 42? For his righteousness' sake. Now, this is the question that we would have to ask. Why is the Father well pleased with his son? Because that's what he just told these men, right? This is my beloved son, in whom I'm well pleased. He's still on Shaul. Hear ye him. So the question is, why is he well pleased with his son? Muffin man. Muffin man. You hear me, boy? I hit you in the head with this cup.
Yeah, the scripture he said he always do those things that
What verse you talking about? Jeremiah heard. My money. Yeah, that's what he just said. But see, that's a little easy. I want y'all to go a little bit further than that. Not just say he always do the things that please his father, because that's what he said in John. But what is it? Why would the father have this testimony of Yahushua that this is my beloved son and whom I am well pleased? This is his testimony of his son. Think about it. Well, I'm going to show you. Give me Hebrews 11 and 1.
Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for.
The faith is the what?
Substance of things hoped for.
The things.
The evidence of things not seen.
That's right.
For by it the elders obtained a good report.
They obtained a what?
A good report.
A what?
A good report.
A report in Greek. Dang, I feel like my leg.
Martyreo. That is to be a witness, to bear witness.
So there's a witness. Let me tell you, what does that mean? If you got a good report, do me another one. Give me Malachi 3 and 17 of a good report. I just want you to see how the elders of poor get a good report. Let me show you how you get a good report. Malachi 3 and 17.
It said, they shall be mine, says Yahuwah of hosts, in that
now back
day.
it up in 16.
It says, then they that fear Yahuwah spoke often one to another.
They that what?
They that fear Yahuwah spoke often one to another.
Give them spoke.
The bar.
So they spoke their word one to another. Those who didn't we just read last night about a Wednesday about him, the reverence? Who is those that he had mercy on? Those that fear him. That's what it said, right? Come on, man.
It said Yahuwah hearkened and heard it.
He listened. So guess what? Why would he hearken to them speaking of the word? Because faith come by hearing and hearing come by the word. But this is also what they spake. We just didn't go around there to Romans 10. He said, if you believe that the Lord rose from the dead, what else he said you had to do with that belief? In Romans 10, what else he said you had to do along with believing? Oh, don't nobody know. Come on, Romans 10 and 9. Abigail.
It said that if thou shalt confess.
If you what?
Thou shalt confess.
If you what?
Confess.
Come on.
With thy mouth that the Master Yahushua is Yahushua, and shalt believe in thy heart that Elohim hath raised him from the dead, thou shalt be saved.
Let me tell you something real, man. What we read last night in the book of Nehemiah, what them people was out there doing for a fourth part of the day?
Praise and worship and then reading the word.
They were praise and worship. It said they would confess.
Oh, yeah.
And worship. Because, you know, a lot of people be like, well, why you got to confess your sins when you get baptized? How is she going to be ashamed of your behavior? So I say that's my head on this. Oh, no, that light bulb. Look at you look. You going to change it? Because you're looking like somebody was going to ask you to change it. That's how you were looking. You got to step up the ladder for you. Don't let the children get scared. Come on. You scared? Nope. You tough? You ain't scared? You ain't scared of no ghosts? You a ghostbuster? No. Well, that nigga look like a grown man. You about 15 years ahead of yourself right now, ain't you? You don't know what I'm saying? Yes. You puzzled? You perplexed? You intrigued? You know what any of those words mean? What they teaching you? They teaching you something. So yeah. Think about that, right? All this still tying back to what we talking about in Matthew 23 and 23. Remember, he said, like a father pitieth his child, so do Yahuwah pity those that fear him. I would have said in Psalm 103, right? Where we at right now? Yeah, we good in Romans 10. Where we at now? Oh, we talking about what made him, why is he always pleasing with it? Hebrews 11, that's where we was at. It's the faith. That's why he well pleased. The reason why that should have clicked in your mind because of the verse 21 in Isaiah 42. He said, Yahuwah is well pleased for righteousness' sake. Remember, I mentioned, that's why I mentioned what please was. It's kafat. What does kafat mean? To delight in. Remember, it means to delight in. Take pleasure in. Yahuwah take pleasure in righteousness, and he said he'll give you a king who will be Yahuwah Zadok, or the righteousness of Yahuwah, which is faith. And then, of course, when Mashiach came on the earth, what did the Malachim tell Mary that his name would be? Yahusha. And he will save them from their sins, or Yahuwah's salvation. So you can see that his name is tied into three different things. There's three different things that it say what his name would be. Only one of them is what he was called. Because nobody called him Yahuwah Zadok when he was walking the earth. You know what I'm talking about? So what are those three names that we can see that the text bear witness that he would be called?
Mighty Counselor is one of them.
No, I'm talking about actual name. Emmanuel, which means Elohim is with us. And I just mentioned the other two, Yahuwah Zadok and Yahuwah salvation. This is what he would call. So what do you get to understand from that? That Yahuwah in his faithfulness saves. That's what you get. That Elohim will dwell with man and save them faithfully. You know what I'm talking about? So when you turn around and see why is he well pleased, because what does the text say? Matter of fact, it's in Revelation 3. Give me Revelation 3, man. I want to say verse 14. I don't think that's it, though. Let me look and see. That ain't it. Revelation 3 and 14. I know that ain't it.
That's cool. Yeah, hardcore.
No. Give me Revelation 3 and 7 for the moment. This is another one. No, it was 3 and 14 was what I want. I apologize. But you can read verse 7. But 14 was what I want. Give me Revelation 3 and 7, and after that, go to Revelation 3 and 14.
It's in the Malachim of the Assembly of Philadelphia. Write these things, says he that is Kadash, he that is true.
He that is what?
He that is Kadash, he that is true. He that hath the key of David, he that openeth and no man shutteth, and shutteth and no man openeth. I know thy works. Behold, I have.
Go to verse 14. Come here, Abigail. Abigail, come here. Come here.
It said, unto the Malachim of the Assembly of the Lacedaemonians, write these things, says the Amen, the faithful and true witness.
The faithful and what?
True witness.
The faithful and what?
True witness. The beginning of the creation of Elohim.
The beginning of what?
The creation of Elohim.
Notice that he said he was faithful and true. This is why his righteousness is well. He's pleased for righteousness' sake. Now come on back to Hebrews 11 and 1. Oh, no, man. This junk keeps sending the emails. To send that email to me, that song to my email off my phone, man. Now that junk had to connect my email to this laptop. So aggravating. Come on, man. Hebrews 11 and 1 more time.
No. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
That's right.
For by it the elders obtained a good report.
That's right.
Through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of Elohim, so that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear.
Notice, right, that the salvation or the return to Yahushua is something that you can't see it, but it will appear and you'll see him as he is, because you have no idea how that's going to go. Come on.
By faith, Abel offered unto Elohim a more excellent sacrifice.
By
which he obtained witness that he was righteous.
That's right.
Elohim testifying of his gifts, and by it he being dead, yet speak.
Yet what?
Speak. By faith, Enoch was translated that he should not see death, and was not found, because Elohim had translated him. For before his translation, he had this testimony that he pleased Elohim.
That's right.
But without faith, impossible to please.
And without faith is what?
Impossible to please.
It's in what?
Impossible to please.
It's what?
Impossible to please.
Okay.
For he that come to Elohim must believe that he is.
And is a rewarder
of them that diligently seek him.
So this is why he said, this is my beloved son in whom I'm well pleased. He had a good report because he believed. And you know where that good report started from? From the foundation of the world. Because that man's son was willing to be slain and offered up from the foundation of the world. Amen, Quran. That's where it started at. That's where it started at. Come on back to Isaiah 42 and 21. Isaiah 42 and 21.
It says, Yahuwah is well pleased for his righteousness' sake. He will magnify the Torah and make it honorable.
Pause. Now give him magnify and honorable. I know I ended with that last night.
Magnify is Gadol. Twist, to enlarge, to advance, to boast, to bring up, excellent, exceed.
To make him great, to exceed, to make him large.
And honorable is Adar. Esteemed, honorable, magnificent.
Now come back over here to Job 2 and listen to it. I'm in Job 2 and 1. I got it. Job 2 and 1, right? And there was a day when the sons of Elohim came to present themselves before Yahuwah, and Hashatan also among them to present himself before Yahuwah. And Yahuwah said unto Hashatan, from whence come you? Hashatan answered Yahuwah and said, from going to and fro in the earth and from walking up and down in it. Pause. Give me 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 6.
It says, humble yourselves therefore under the mighty hand of Elohim, that he may exalt you in due time.
Humble yourselves under the what?
The mighty hand of Elohim.
That he might do what?
Exalt you in due time.
That's what a lot of men who ain't got no judgment, mercy, and faith, that's what they can't do. Go ahead.
Casting all your care upon him, for he cared for you.
That's right.
Be sober and be vigilant.
See, this is another evidence of faith, because that's what Mashiach did. He cast all his care upon his father because he knows his father cared for him. Which is why he say, you know, if you the tree by the thorns, the cares and affairs of this life talk off the word, and it can't bring forth fruit to perfection. See, when you get caught up in this life, you ain't gonna be able to be able to be made perfect, because you're not gonna cast your cares on Yahuwah. You're gonna cast your cares on yourself. See, when Mashiach had all that burden on his shoulders by what it's time to die, what's the first thing he went and did? Well, hey man, stand man, slap that old drunk nigga over there asleep. You ain't gonna be like that nigga we seen the other day, last week.
Oh yeah.
There were two niggas in there. One, he get a pass because he got narcolepsy. You ain't got no narcolepsy. It was a nigga in there like this. I wanted to walk over there and kick that nigga in the chin myself.
It's that couch.
And he was in the center of the room too. He wasn't in no couch. He was in a chair. He was in a chair. Slop. Like this here. Drip.
Definitely.
No, it was stank. Because he looked like his breath was stank. I ain't even being funny. He did.
You like that.
Mm-hmm. You know, we're going to hit you like the Lord said, go on and take your rest. Oh, let me see. Oh, you got one of them in your thing? You got fresh to bear. I got two of them. I don't even know how I ended up two. Well, he sent you 3 fresh to bears? Like the same time? Man, I'd have kicked that nigga in his balls. I'm glad I didn't order that junk, man. Nigga sent me 3 of the same pen. He said it was you don't get to decide what pen. At least give me 3 different ones. Give me the same pen. I got some in the mailbox right now. They just told me they got that. This ain't coming from him though. That 10 pounds of gold right there. I don't know nothing about it. That's the Ric Flair. You know what I'm talking about? When he said he was a Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, son of a gun. I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down. That's the belt he was carrying when he said that right now. Not the big gold belt. You know what I'm saying? You don't know nothing about that shit. I got a t-shirt with that junk on the back of it. That was that cracker, man. You don't know. He ain't worried. He like, I don't watch TV. Only at the jail.
Like that, I already told you I turned away.
I know you did. I damn sure did. Every time I take your shot, I'm like, oh, wait, you niggas nasty. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all niggas in here swag watching. Some of y'all boys in here gunning. I don't want nothing to do with it. Word. Yeah, that was a little homie right there, Quran, man. Listen to him right where I'm at.
Then humble yourselves, therefore, under the almighty hand of Elohim.
That's right.
That you may be exalted in due time.
In due time.
Casting all your care upon him, for he cared for you.
Come on with it.
Be sober, be vigilant.
Be what?
Be sober, be vigilant.
Why?
Because your adversary,
the devil,
as a roaring lion, walketh about,
seeing whom he may devour.
Whom resisteth steadfast in the faith.
Do what?
Resist steadfast in the faith.
In the what?
In the faith.
In the law.
In the faith.
In your nationality.
Faith.
In the law.
Faith.
Okay.
Knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world.
Come on.
But Elohim of all grace, whom have called us unto his eternal esteem by Yahushua Mashiach.
Come on.
After ye have suffered a while, make you perfect, establish, strengthen, and settle you. To him be esteem and dominion forever and ever.
Amen. Amen. Yeah, each came later. He came. Yeah, he was with us though. He wasn't feeling well at the start. He came. He got there by the time trial was finished. Come on back to Job 2 and 3. Yeah, he told me that. I was sitting right next to him when he was commenting with you. He said, Yahuwah said unto Hashatan, have you considered my servant Job, that none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that fear Elohim and eschew evil, and still hold fast his integrity, although you move me against him to destroy him without cause. Now remember this here, right? Mashiach said what? They've hated me without a what? What did Pilate say? See, look at this here, right? If we was to take this and look at this in the beginning, well, if Yahuwah will, man, most definitely. If we take this and we look at this in the gospel aspect, right? Satan is playing the role of who? And Yahuwah is playing the role of who? See, Yahuwah will be playing the role of Pilate because this man ain't did nothing. Satan wants to move against a man who hasn't done. Because what Pilate said, what has this just man done? What has he done? He just said, you want me to move against this man without cause. Didn't Pilate say, man, this man ain't did nothing? How about we let him go? He did nothing. So in this instance, Yahuwah is playing the role of Pilate. Because he was determined to what? Let him go. Even though it was Yahuwah's idea for what? For him to be tested. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. Yahuwah and Satan answered Yahuwah and said, skin for skin. All that a man have, he will give for his life. Give me skin for skin. Come on, Abby. Abby.
It's like 3 words. One say skin or hide. One is or, one is behind. That's over against, or yeah, like I said, behind. And the other one is or skin.
Skin, which is the word for skin. Now do me a favor. Go to Genesis 3, probably about verse what it is. 9 or 10, wherever it is where they make the skins for themselves. I want to say verse 9 or 10. 21. Not that Yahuwah made the skin, or they cover themselves with fig leaves. But yeah, give me 20. Yahuwah made these skins.
That's the same word.
All right? Hide, flesh. Also, remember, what is it also? What he gave them, and they gave him a what? A tunic. You remember that?
Cuts enough. This dude said coat. They say coat of skin, so coat is a garment or robe, coat to cover, and then it says skin.
So like I said, right? He's saying skin for skin. But see, Yahuwah gave him his righteousness when they tried to cover themselves with the fig leaves, which was their own righteousness. You know what I'm talking about? He gave him something of his own right. But sit back and think about it. He say skin for skin, a man to get everything for his life, right? Now come over here to what it is, Romans 5. What it is, man, about verse what, 14? Or is it verse 1? Let me look. So we don't want to waste time. Yeah, Romans 5:1 is real. Did you know I was going to add?
It says, therefore, being justified by faith, we have shalom with Elohim through our Master Yahushua Mashiach, by whom also we have access by faith unto his grace, wherein we stand and rejoice in hope of the esteem of Elohim. And not only, but we esteem in tribulations also, knowing that tribulation work patience.
Tribulation work what?
Patience.
And patience.
Experience.
And experience.
Hope.
And hope.
Make him not ashamed.
Okay.
Because the love of Elohim is shed abroad.
And why does hope not make ashamed? Because all that believe on him shall not be ashamed. See, hope is what? That's patah. That's your expectation. Well, why do you have an expectation? Because you got to believe that he is, and he's a rewarder of those who diligently seek it. See, this is still going again that Yahuwah is well pleased for righteousness. He delights in those that believe in him. If you don't believe in him, he don't delight in you. See, let me ask you a question, right? If you're just sitting back and you look at a natural man, you know, people be posting this type of stuff, right? You can't actually love a man you don't believe in. So how would you expect a man you don't believe in to delight in doing the things that you would like for him to do? How would he delight in? Don't the book tell you don't grieve them who got rule over you? He said, because it won't be for your what? Your profit, your benefit, your gain. You ain't going to get nothing out of grieving that man's soul. Nothing positive is going to come out of that. Well, Yahuwah delights in those who know that he will reward those who diligently seek him. Which is what Mashiach taught you to do. He taught you to seek what first? And all those things will be added unto you. He said, all the stuff you be worried about, he said, who seek after that? The Gentiles do. He said, but your father in Shamahim know that you got need of all these things. So don't trouble me with that. Just seek me. See, that's what the son did. That's what we don't do. See, a lot of brothers be like, we following in Mashiach's step, but we don't. Because you're not seeking this man with your whole heart and your whole mind and your whole soul, like the law taught you to do. Because that's what Deuteronomy 6 say to do. Go to Deuteronomy 6:1 for me.
Now these, the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments which Yahuwah your Elohim commanded to teach you, that you might do in the land whether you go to possess it, that you might fear Yahuwah your Elohim, to keep all his statutes and his commandments, which I command you, you and your son and your son's sons, all the days of your life, that your days may be prolonged.
That's right.
Hear therefore Yasharal, and observe to do, that it may be well with you, that you may increase mightily, as Yahuwah Elohim of your fathers have promised you, in the land that flow with milk and honey. Hear, O Yasharal, Yahuwah Elohim
is one.
And you shall love Yahuwah your Elohim with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might,
and all your strength.
And these words which I command you this day shall be in your heart.
So they should be where?
In your heart.
Where it should be at?
In your heart.
Give me 2 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 1. Stay right there, Sue.
It said, do we begin again to commend ourselves? Or need we as some epistles of commendation to you, or letters of commendation from you? Ye are our epistle written in our hearts, known and read of all men.
That's right.
Manifestly declared to be the epistle of the Mashiach ministered to us, written not with ink, but with the spirit of the living Elohim.
On fleshly?
Not in tables of stone, but in fleshly tables of the heart.
What prophet told you he give you a heart of flesh? Ezekiel told you that he'll take out that heart of stone and give you a heart of flesh. That heart of flesh is where that Deuteronomy 6 got you at. Go back to Deuteronomy 6. What verse you in? Call it out for the people so they know where you're at.
7.
6 and 7.
And you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up.
You know that Mashiach there too, right? Explain it to me, Sivy. How did he do it? He gave you 3 elements. How did he fulfill them? While y'all thinking on, what's Sivy thinking on that? Come on back to that Romans 5, man. Thinking about verse 5. Romans 5 and 5.
It said, hope make him not ashamed, because the love of Elohim is shed abroad in all our hearts.
It's shed abroad where?
In all our hearts. By the Ruach HaKodesh.
Well, why is the love of Elohim shed abroad? Because you have confessed that Yahusha died and believed in your heart that he rose from the dead. Go ahead.
By the Ruach HaKodesh which is given unto us. For when we were yet without strength, in due time the Mashiach died for the ungodly.
He died for the who?
Ungodly. For scarcely for a righteous man will one die, yet peradventure for a good man some would even dare to die.
Remember, he said, give a man for skin, flesh for flesh, a man to give his life for. Ain't that what he said? But he just said right here, scarcely would a righteous man even dare to die. Why is this important? Because what did Job lose? Somebody go back to Job 1 and tell me what they lost. And Derek and Quran got some of the answer, and I'm gonna tell it to you, right? He said that you should teach when you
sit in your house.
When you sit in your house. How many times can we go read? He said, I talk daily with you in the temple, and you ain't never say nothing to me. When the next time he did it? What the next was that?
When you walk by the way.
So did he not go from city to city preaching the word to people? What's the next thing he said?
When you lie down.
When you lie down. You know what that one is? That's when he preached to the spirits in prison again. The only reason why I'm focusing on that, because we just talked about the spirits in prison last night. So a lot of people don't even realize, how you gonna teach when you're laying down? Give them the Hebrew word for lie in that verse. Muffania.
Shakab, to lie down.
Who teach lying down? Any of y'all ever laid? I don't know. Some of y'all look like y'all lay in the bed like your mama used to do. Come here, boy, give me that remote. You look like you did one of them children like that last night. How you just did that one? Or did you go to your mama's house and she did you like that? She like they said, Stanley, come bring me that remote. And you know what a remote be when she be laying down? Right there on the nightstand. This nigga could have reached over and got it. It wasn't in the other room. It was reachable. You look like you ready to do Noah like that. I don't know. By the time he get grown, they might not even have remote control no more. They might have some weird junk. These people gonna be able to channel 40, and he just gonna change. Niggas gonna think that junk fresh. That just ain't gonna be fresh. Then they gonna start putting stuff in.
That's what I was thinking about.
You blink your eye, ESPN. You sitting there thinking.
They gonna be able to Bluetooth to your TV.
Bluetooth in your brain. A Bluetooth in your brain. But nah, that's another one that point to him preaching to the spirits in prison. What's the last one, Sibby?
That's when you rise up.
And we know when he rose from the dead, he sat down with his apostles and explained to them all the things in the scriptures that was speaking of himself. You know what I'm talking about? Where we at now? Him up in there.
Oh, rocking and rolling.
Yeah, you got to where I wanted to in Romans.
So you just.
So listen, right? So he say a man to save his life to get. But I wanted y'all to go to Romans 1, and I wanted you to take a look at all the things that Job lost.
He lost a lot.
Let's look at everything Job lost. Yeah, Job.
Right. He that has an ear. It said there was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job. That man was perfect and upright, and one that feared Elohim and eschewed evil. And there were born to him 7 sons and 3 daughters. His substance also was 7,000 sheep and 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen and 500 she asses, a very great household, so that this man was the greatest of all the men of the East. And his sons went and feasted in houses, everyone his day, and sat and called their 3 sisters to eat and drink with him. And it was so that when the days of their feasting were going about, that Job sent and sanctified them and rose up early in the morning and offered burnt offerings to the number of them all. For Job said, it may be that my sons have sinned and cursed Elohim in their hearts.
Verse 10. We ain't trying to read all that. We're trying to read what he lost.
Talk to him. Thou has not thou made a hedge about him and about his house and about all that he hath on every side. Thou hast blessed the works of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. It said, put forth thy hand now and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face. And Yahuwah said unto Satan, behold, all that he hath in thy power, only upon himself put forth not thy hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of
our This is another thing, right? Job is a similitude of Mashiach, and the only thing that Satan couldn't do to him was what? But remember, right, when Satan entered into Judas, what did he enter into Judas for? It said in John 13, Satan entered into Judas, did it not?
For this person.
And what was he entered into him to do?
To
betray him. And what did the Lord tell him? He said, what you go do it quickly. See, guess what? Yahushua was given into Satan's hand, and Satan had the ability to do what? To kill him. He had already touched everything that he had. At least he thought he did. Because remember this one thing, right? What did Mashiach say in John chapter 10? At John 17, I should say, about things that belong to him. All mine are thine. And that's John 10:2 actually. And he said, no man can pluck them out of where? You can't take what's it. See, Satan was able to take what's Job's, but he couldn't take what was yours. You know what I'm talking about? But see, I just showing you the contrast and the difference. Because he wasn't able to take Job's life, but he was able to take Mashiach. He was able to take what Job had. He couldn't take what the Lord had. And you know why he couldn't take what the Lord had? Because he laid it down voluntarily. You know what I'm talking about? Job didn't volunteer for this. Let's continue with Job 1. You in verse 12. Job 1 and 12.
It said, Yahuwah said unto Satan, behold, all that he hath is in thy power, only upon himself put not forth thine hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of Yahuwah. And there was a day when his sons and his daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. And there came a messenger unto Job, saying, the oxen were plowing and the asses feeding beside them. The Sabians fell upon them and took them away. Yea, they have slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and only I am escaped alone to tell.
So guess what that means, right? They slayed the servants. Well, who were the servants? Slayed all the prophets. Slayed all the prophets. Continue.
It says, while he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, the fire of Elohim is fallen from Shamahim and have burned up the sheep, and the servants are consumed. And I only am escaped alone to tell you.
So we can look at this here, right? What did Yahushua say he saw falling down from heaven? That's what? That's lightning, right? And it said it fell down on all the who?
It said the servants and the sheep.
It said it fell down and burned up the sheep and the servants, and they were consumed. What did Mashiach say he came to deliver?
The lost sheep.
And they were what? We are consumed for our parts. He said we dried up and lost. Isn't it what it said in Ezekiel? Give them consumed by definition in this passage.
Malak. I don't think that's a call to eat, to be burned up, to devour.
To devour. What we just read that it says Satan roaming through the earth looking to do. Seeking to whom he may devour. You know what I'm talking about? And what he told you to do, you need to be sober and you need to be what?
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? Also know that the same affliction going on in the world. Why is this important? Because if you don't resist him steadfastly and the steadfastness of the word, this man will swallow you whole.
All right.
You know what I'm talking about? And get what? Just because you can recite some verses or you know something, don't mean that man ain't going to devour you whole. Because you ain't sober and you ain't vigilant. That's why that boy, what his name is, how'd you do that? That's why he be getting them boys. Because them boy be arguing with him all day. Being a fool. I ain't finna argue with no nigga say he God. I ain't finna argue with no nigga who got a petition and he say he God. If you got a petition, that's not a God. He talking about conversation, rule the nation. You know what I'm saying? I say, hey man, I thought Elohim led to obliteration, nigga. You around here asking a nigga to give you something. I thought God took what was his. How would the book tell me? I ain't asking a nigga for nothing. We're doing all that time. Sit. I've been thinking this the whole time. Like, yeah, that's absolutely. It's absolutely magnificent.
I do got a fuzzy smell.
Let's continue. Verse 17 of Job chapter 1.
It says, while he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, the Chaldeans made out 3 bands that fell upon the camels and have carried them away.
He said the who?
The Chaldeans.
Y'all know who that is, right? Y'all know who the Chaldeans is, right?
Babylon.
That's Babylonians. And what they turned around and did?
And they slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and only am I escaped alone to tell.
Guess what? What they ended up doing when you went into Babylon? Did they take away all your stuff and slay you with the edge of the sword? What they gonna be doing in the great harlot of Babylon? What's she gonna be doing? Slaying the servants of God with the edge of the sword. Continue.
While he was yet speaking, there came also another saying, thy sons and thy daughters were eating and drinking wine at your oldest brother.
And their who?
Their eldest brother's house.
And they who?
Their eldest brother's house.
Oh boy. Then I sit there and pause and think on that for a moment. They were sitting drinking wine at whose house?
The eldest brother.
Oh man, he said he went to make war with the remnant of a seed who had the testimony of Yahushua and keep the commandments of Elohim. Because what you supposed to be drinking? Who else you gonna be drinking wine at? In your eldest brother's house. Give him eldest.
Record, firstborn.
At your firstborn brother's house.
The chief.
The chief. They were drinking wine at Mashiach's house. Continue.
And behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness and smote the 4 corners of the house, and it fell upon the young men, and they are dead. And I only am escaped alone to tell them.
Notice what he said, right? A great wind came from where? The wilderness.
From the 4 corners. And smote the 4 corners of the house.
The house fell on the men. Fed by the house falling on the nigga. He told them boy that. And why he said that house would fall on them? What reason?
Built upon the same.
Because they refused the word. Because they didn't believe. And that's not what's saying what's happening to his son. His sons had all this. Now notice, what did Job lose? He lost a multitude of servants. He lost a multitude of cattle. He lost all his offspring. Let's continue.
It said, then Job arose and rent his mantle and shaved his head and fell down to the ground and worshiped.
Naked?
Naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return there. And Yahuwah gave, and Yahuwah have taken away. Baruch be the name of Yahuwah.
And all this?
Charge God foolishly.
Give him charge and foolishness.
That's right. Nathan.
Not Nathan, not Nathaniel, not nothing.
Foolishly is to lie or to follow. Yeah, to follow. The tifla. There you go, tifla. Foolishly, frivolity.
Why is this important, right?
Frivolous.
Even when the people were coming mocking Yahushua on the stake, that could have gave him an opportunity to charge Elohim foolishly. God bless the land. See, what a lot of people do is when things happen, they want to blame God. But I'm going to tell you how a lot of people blame God, right? You know how they do it? The devil busy. But do you know why they blaming God when they do that? The devil ain't busy. The devil doing his job. Because it said, what did we talk about Wednesday? It said, Yahuwah do what? In Jeremiah 17, he said, the heart is deceitfully wicked above all things. Who can know it? And what he said after that? I, Yahuwah, search the heart and the reins. And what do we read after that? Elohim can't do what? No man with evil. But who did he send to do it? Because who he sent to tempt Ahab's fathers and Ahab? But who was behind it? Elohim was behind it. So you run out here talking about, if evil been done in the city, have I not Yahuwah done it? I did that. Well, how he did that if he don't tempt nobody with evil? They do what I say when I say it. Ain't that what that Roman centurion said to the Lord? I'm a man under authority. I say go and they go. See, it's too many whole niggas in 2022. It's a lot of men ain't gonna go when somebody say go. I ain't listening to another man. I'm a leader myself. But ain't nobody listening to you. You know what I'm talking about? Ain't nobody listening to you. You know why? Because I think I told about it before, right? There's certain elements that men will follow. What do you ladies believe those elements will be? Because it's different from the elements which y'all will follow. What you think is elements that men will follow? She said consistency. Woman's answer. Not even just strength and power, because some men will follow other men with strength and power out of fear, not necessarily because they like this man or take him somewhere. Because this nigga's who's strong, that nigga won't follow. And it's two people who got power, nigga won't follow. You know what I'm talking about? But it's in that vein. One of them is courage. You know what I'm talking about? Men follow courage. If they know that there's a situation of peril which can strike fear in a man, and a man will stand up and persevere through that fear, other men will follow him. You know what I'm talking about? Because strength and power don't denote courage. Because you can have both. You can have strength and power and be absent of courage. Because there's a lot of niggas got power and they cowards. You know what I'm saying? And there's niggas who got strength, but they're really weak on the inside. It was just like a lady talking about when she met the dude that she realized was a beta male. She believed he was an alpha male based on his physical appearance because he was 6'5", 200 plus pounds. You know what I'm saying? But on the outside, that's a sense, that's strength. Whole time, he was a passive aggressive coward and had no courage. You know what I'm talking about? He was a cowardly lion.
That was the point.
Absolutely. Because David was much, much smaller than Goliath, but he had courage. So when all of Yasharal seen his courage, because guess what? Saul had the power and the strength, and he was scared of him. David walked up and said, man, they done defied the armies of the living Elohim. Well, this nigga dead tonight. This man, and he said literally, man, you would have delivered me out the paw of a lion and the mouth of a bear. And this uncircumcised Philistine going down like that. So when men see that, that's why you see people say, shoot, what? I'm rolling with David. Already fight was scared of this man, and this shepherd boy had more courage than them all. You know what I'm saying? Now, Bella just stated like strategic and intelligence. You know what I'm talking about? And even still, with a lot of these dudes, you can have all the strategy in the world, they still won't follow. You know what I'm talking about? One of the biggest things that men will follow is a clearly defined vision. What is the end goal of what we doing? Because dude want to know, what am I? See, that's why the book say, in all you're getting what you need to get. I need that insight to know why we doing what we doing. Is it worth me risking my life? Why you looking like that? Because usually if you following a man, you probably gonna be following him in the app. It could cost you your life. You know what I'm saying? When y'all following a man, he ain't taking you to battle. Because usually when men get together in the group, hey, what's wrong with you, boy? That boy got his whole Facebook. Because how he paused with it like that was the pain cry. That's why I asked what was wrong with it, because they usually don't open their mouth that wide with a pause or a cry if they ain't actually like really hurt themselves. He say he capped. He definitely toned down quick, so that ain't he wasn't in no pain. Other thing that men will look for in, like, see, y'all say consistency, but it's more so a faithfulness, the dedication to what it is that he's doing, whether you niggas coming or not. You know what I'm talking about? Because nigga don't want to be following no dude who ain't even faithful to what it is that he want others to follow. You know what I'm talking about? Another thing that men will follow is the ability for a man to sacrifice. That he's willing to sacrifice himself for the same vision that he asking them to sacrifice for. See, most men want to know that whatever this man is asking him to do, that he'll do it also. Don't ask me to kill a nigga and you ain't gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Don't ask me to leave my family and you ain't gonna leave yours. You know what I'm saying? Don't ask me to do that, because I'm not gonna listen to you. You know what I'm talking about? It was something else in my mind, but then E3 threw me off. I ain't just seeing Pie. I looked up and seen the face. He had his whole face open, like he had to stub his toe. You ever stubbed your toe, Abigail? It hurts. Don't do it. It's a different type. When you look at the things of like why they follow Mashiach, do you know the amount of courage you got to have to go against an entire religious system of men and call them out to their face? Do you understand the lack of courage that a lot of people had because they didn't want to get put out the synagogue? Oh, that's what it was too. When you looking at what a lot of men follow, they want to follow men that are extremely assertive. You know what I'm talking about? Like, this is what we doing, this is how we get there, and this is what it is. You know what I'm talking about? When you got all that stuff, like, I don't know. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know if I want to. I don't know. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about? Can't be no coward. One thing about the Lord, what we know, he what? He wasn't no. And what is a coward? That's somebody who's afraid of what? Confrontation. You know what I'm talking about? See, there ain't no men want to follow no man who's scared of confrontation. See, if you got something to say about another man and you won't look that man, see, let me tell y'all something. Because I know ladies that make y'all you think you fit. See, I'll tell you what other men look like. If you a man and you say you want to be a leader of men, but you sitting around talking about another man, and that man asks you, you ever talk to that man about it? They're like, no, they know you a pussy, they ain't following you. Right or wrong? Because that means you scared of confrontation. How you gonna confront me about another nigga? Ain't no dudes following that. There's another aspect too that men will follow that necessarily women don't hold in high regard, and that's honor. You know what I'm talking about? You can't be no dishonorable man and men follow you. Now, see, we talking about if you do it righteously, because there's a difference. Men follow out of fear now. Like, people follow Joseph Stalin. You know what I'm talking about? What's the other dude's name, man? His name is escaped. Mussolini. Yeah, they follow them, but they follow them out of fear. And not the reverence, the godly type of fear. They follow them out of the fact of, this nigga will kill everybody. I don't want to die. That's different. You know what I'm talking about? That's different. But yeah, we can't forget honor. Honor's big on the list. Actual men don't want to be associated with dishonorable men. You know what I'm talking about? And I can't follow dishonorable men. Because there has to be some level of camaraderie. Anybody who's been in the military, you probably had it when you was in the in the academy. They try to build some manner of camaraderie. You know what I'm saying? A oneness with a group of men, so they all come together with one common cause under the leadership of one individual. They did that for you in the airport. You ain't like them niggas over there. Huh? I can also. Then I'm gonna look at that nigga and tell him his breath stink every day. Yeah, I like this breath stink. What? Bentos. Know what I'm saying? But that's important. I think along honor and courage are at the top of the list for most men. Honor and courage. You know what I'm saying?
That's definitely true. SEALs in the prison.
What kind?
That honor and courage.
Yeah, honor and courage at the top of the list.
They gonna want you to get out of that prison if you scared to run.
Because the reason being, you ain't got to be the smartest man, but if you honorable and you got courage, niggas will still follow. You know what I'm saying? See, for a lot of women, they'll look at it, I want him to be smart, this, that, and the third. But men, he ain't got to be the smartest man. Some of the greatest leaders in the history of mankind were not the smartest men. Yeah, they weren't the smartest men. They had smart men around them, you know what I'm saying, to counsel them, but they weren't necessarily the smartest men. Some of the greatest leaders in the world weren't the most strategic men. They had strategic men around them, but they weren't necessarily the most strategic. You know what I'm saying? You got some men who done did great things in leadership, and they weren't necessarily the most disciplined men. Napoleon Bonaparte is a prime, because he had a weakness for women. You know what I'm talking about? He liked to get the buns. I think, you know what I'm saying? Huh? That's what they say. Yeah. Huh? Hey, man. He might have had a problem. You know what I'm talking about? But when you turn around and you look at Mashiach and you look at everything that he possessed, he had the vision, he had the discipline, he had the honor, he had the courage. You know what I'm talking about? He had the strength, he had the power. He also had the compassion. He also had the understanding. He also had the wisdom. This is what it takes for men to follow another man. See, when you see dudes talking about, I'll never follow a man. He got hope in his blood. You know what I'm talking about? Because guess what you got to do? What is the Lord? A man. And what did he turn around and do and set in his house? Men to do what? To lead other men. So when you don't come out, so when you say that, you say you directly against the will of God. And then what? I can stop preaching today. And if I had to go follow a man, I ain't got no problem with it. It don't make no difference. You know why it don't make no difference? Because it ain't about me, it's about him. See, a lot of these dudes, it's about you. So you's a pussy. You know what I'm talking about? You somebody who your daddy should have left you on the sheets at the cheap hotel. He had your mama at. I ain't lying, and you know it. That's what he said, right? Paul definitely said, "Follow me as I follow Mashiach." So you can't say. See, this is the reason why dudes don't like it. Dudes don't like hierarchy. But what did the Lord teach us about hierarchy? Will we have a hierarchy? Yes. How did he say to handle that hierarchy? He said, he that is greatest among you be a what? Because he said, the Gentiles are benefactors. He said, but not so. Why? What does our law say? You will not rule over one another with what? Rigor. So when he was teaching his apostles this, he was telling them what the law said. That was in Leviticus 25, by the way. That you're not going to rule over your brothers with rigor. That's what the law said. He wasn't bringing something new. You already supposed to be looking at each other as brothers. He was telling you what you should have already been doing. See, you goofy niggas, you don't want to follow orders because you got the heart of your mama. You your mama's son. It's okay. But ain't nobody going to listen to you. You know what I'm talking about? That's not going to happen. Don't you notice that right, man? You notice a lot of dudes who don't want to follow me. They don't got nothing going on in their life. They ain't accomplishing nothing. Do you know to accomplish any great things as a man? What you got to do, Lil James? You got to be in company of other great men. You have to be in alliance and allegiance with other great men. You just can't be out here, I'm Dolo. You got to be in alliance and allegiance with other great men. Ain't nowhere around that. Ain't nowhere around that. Ain't no man talking about I became successful by myself. He had allegiances and alliances with other men. And you know what they did? See, this is what dudes get messed up at. You know what they teach us in the black community to do? Find you a woman to do what with her? Build with her. You know what other nationalities of men get told to do? Go find other men and go build with them. You know what I'm talking about? Go build with them. I'll go build something over here together as men that can benefit all your families. Not go find a woman to build with. You know why we get told that? Because we live in a matriarchal community. It gives a woman some manner of say-so and power and what's going on and the influence over the men. This is why the other nations kick you dead in your butthole. Outside of you being disobedient to God. You're talking about on the natural level. Because we know totality, your disobedience to God is why you get kicked in your butthole. But if you go talk to other races of people, have you ever heard a white man say, go find a woman to go deal with? Ever heard an Asian man say it? What about Arab man? But you done heard black men say it, though. Who you think told them that? You think Donald Trump woke up one day and said, let me find a woman to build with? That man went and got trophy wives. Because they show, like I said, I'm just talking about the difference of the culture of each group of people. It's different. You know what I'm talking about? It's different. Vastly different. You know what I'm talking about? And the reason being is because we just taught to have everything revolve around certain things that don't lead you where you want to go. To come back to Job chapter 2, because we done with that. What they doing to you, cuz? What you doing to that boy? Don't do that boy like that. He ain't do that. I mean, he ain't mean nothing bad. Just thinking, hey man, you might like a Mentos. I like Mentos. You like Mentos? See, we can tell you, I buy about 4 packs every day. I'm 6.
I mean, no. Every stop.
God. Fruit.
It said again, there was a day when the sons of Elohim
you can
came.
drop down the stove over that.
Quiet.
Drop down there.
Job 2 and 4.
It said, and Satan answered Yahuwah and said, skin for skin, yea, all that a man hath while will he give his life.
Pause. Now think about that, right? I see what you said. Indeed, Quran. So think about this here, right? What would you give to save your life? Because that's what Satan's saying. He said, okay, you done took everything you had from him. He said, skin for his life. Or so, like I said, skin for skin, a man will get everything that he have will he give for his life. So he's saying that Job will be willing to abandon everything he got to save himself. Now let's take a look at what the Lord said there. John 12 and 23.
It says, and Yahushua answered them, saying, the hour is come that the Son of Man should be esteemed. Verily, verily, I say unto you, if the corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone.
It abide what?
It abideth alone.
It abide what?
It abideth alone.
But if it die,
it bring forth much fruit.
Listen to him.
He that loveth his life shall lose it.
He that what?
He that loveth his life shall lose it.
That's what Satan say. Anybody that loves his life is going to give up everything he got for his life. Listen to him.
And he that hated his life, this world shall keep it unto eternal life.
See, Job was the difference. He hated his life. So he was willing to lose all that because we know in the back end, he got rewarded like Yahushua got rewarded on the back end. But see, you see this thing, he say, skin for skin, a man to give up everything he had for his life. That man say, man, you got to be willing to do what? Forsake all that you have, or you can't be my disciple. They will be willing to literally sacrifice everything they got so they can live. What the beast gonna come ask you to do? But ask you to go by your lust and give up your life in order so you can live skin to skin. Listen to what he say, man. Job 2 and what? 2 and 5.
It says, but put forth thine hand now and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse thee to your face.
And Yahuwah said,
and Yahuwah said unto Satan, behold, he is in thy hand, but save his life. So went forth Satan from his presence of Yahuwah and smote Job with sore boils
from where?
The sole of his feet until it's crowned.
Now give them boils by definition. Shoot, give them sore boils. Amen, Sharon.
It's shakin. That is inflammation or burning, ulcers.
Inflammation. Remember, we talked about that in Deuteronomy 28. Yahushua had some boils in his flesh. What was those boils? What was that inflammation? It was that furnace of affliction that he had to suffer that was in his flesh. When he was desiring for that cup to pass and many other things. Let's continue. But notice, right, he say from the sole of the foot to the crown. You know that say that in the book of Isaiah, right? Let's take a look at it, Isaiah 1 and 4.
It says, a sinful nation of people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupted. They have forsaken Yahuwah, they have provoked the Kadash one of Yasharah to anger, they are going away backward.
That's right.
Why should ye be stricken anymore?
Why should you be what?
Stricken anymore.
Come on.
Ye revolt more and more. The whole head is sick.
The whole what?
The whole head is sick.
What else?
And the whole heart faint. From the sole of the foot
to where?
Even into the head.
Uh-oh.
No soundness in it.
Ain't no what?
No soundness in it.
Give them soundness by definition.
Methon, wholesomeness, completeness.
Ain't no perfection in it.
Soundness.
No perfection in it. Go ahead.
It says wounds and bruises and putrefying sores, they have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment.
He said ain't nothing been there to heal you. Ain't nothing there to heal you. You know what I'm talking about? Now remember, right? He said touch your bone and your flesh, right? What did the law say? This is bone of my what?
Bone of my bone.
And flesh of my flesh. He said, I'm going to touch your wife. And she going to have the ulcers and the inflammation. And that's what Deuteronomy 28 say you got. Now you got the boils and the inflammation right now. And he ain't touch your life because he said what? And my beloved son in whom I'm well pleased, I will give for the life of the world so that it will not be what? Condemned. Because he touched his wife. Because he said a man will give everything he has for his own life. But what did he tell you? Songs of Solomon 8:6. Also, you can look at this here as Job was willing, which of course he wasn't an actual participant as forth as being in the conversation. That is crucifixion word in the Quran. We just ain't focusing on it. Go ahead.
Set me as a seal upon your heart.
What else?
As a seal upon your arm.
That's right.
For love, strong as death.
Love is strong as what?
Death.
Love is strong as what?
Death.
What else?
Jealousy, cruel as the grave.
And what else?
The coals thereof, coals of fire.
That's right.
A most vehement flame.
A most what?
Vehement flame.
It's a strong fire.
Many waters cannot quench love.
Many waters can't do what?
Quench love.
Many water can't do what?
Quench love.
Go ahead.
Neither can the floods drown it.
Can't drown it.
If a man would give all the substance of his house for love,
it would be utterly what?
Content.
That means if he would have gave up all his wealth for love, he would lightly esteem it. Now, at the same token, for the love that Job had for Yahuwah, at the loss of everything, he lightly esteemed it. See, we getting to it. Why? See, one thing we know about women, man, and it's unfortunate, and it ain't necessarily all women, but boy, a man can have $30 million a day and lose everything tomorrow, and that woman will look at him like he is the scum of the earth and say exactly what this bald head heifer right here just gonna say. You know what I'm talking about? See, you shaking your head because you know it. It ain't too many women out here if a man fall off like Joe fall off, and she be like, baby, you were gonna give her strength. I love you. She looking at her eggs. I got to get the hell on. Why is this nigga still talking about God? Come on, man. They say Job was a perfect man. Ain't it what it said? Didn't it say he rejected evil? Say he was wealthy and had all these things, and because these things befell him, we're going to read in a moment, his wife told him to blaspheme and forsake Yahuwah. What would she ask him to do? You know? How you know? When you read. I ain't just talk about that. See, right now, when that baby come out, it's going to be me and you. It's going to be me and you. You know what I'm talking about? We could do it in the octagon or the square circle. It's me and you. Bare knuckles or gloves, nigga. You make the call. I am, nigga. I'm telling you, I'm waiting for you to have a baby. I need my faith. You know what I'm saying? High and tight, Marine style. You know what I'm saying? But think about that, though. I ain't saying that to I'm just being honest with you. In general, the average woman is going to be like, nigga, F you. and everything you got going on, why you still holding on to the word like that? Why you doing that? If God loved you, why would all this be happening to you? You might as well curse him and die, nigga. You know how disrespectful that is? See, he better than me, because I would have did what Yahuwah told Miriam her daddy should have did. You know what that is? I'd have spit in that whole face. Not no loogie either, just a good, just enough phlegm in it. Not too much, not too little. Just so it can hit her dead in the bridge of her nose and drip down to her top lip. You know what I'm talking about? For real, man, because I disrespectfully rude. You don't say no junk like that. Nigga, all my children, like I don't know all my kids dead. Not just all my kids, all my servants. Because let's not act like the man wasn't going to have love for his servants. All his kids dead, all his servants dead, all his wealth gone. And that one time did he charge Elohim foolishly with his mouth. Now remember, right, he lost all that and then he got the boils. So now it's hitting him personally. Now he got boils. Man, look here. Come on, man. Job 2 and 8.
It says, and he took him a potsherd to scrape himself withal, and he sat down among the ashes.
Give him ashes by definition.
Ashes is ephir, which is ashes.
That man sat down in dust, scratching himself. I'm itching.
Then said his wife unto him, does thou still retain thine integrity?
Give him integrity by definition.
Integrity is tumah, innocence.
You gonna maintain your perfection?
That's the stench of
Tom. You gonna maintain your perfection? How long you gonna keep your perfection? Ain't that? Don't you realize that's how they came at Mashiach? What she say after that?
Curse Elohim and die.
And you know what the word curse is? Because it threw them off when we were having this conversation. It's Barak. Y'all know what Barak, you know what the main meaning of Barak is, right? What's the main meaning of Barak? Blessed. That's the main meaning of it. But one of the meanings also is to curse. So how do you curse God? By violating Leviticus 24 and blaspheming his name. And what does the law say is supposed to happen to you when you blaspheme? You're supposed to die. But see, hold on. What did Mashiach say? He said you could blaspheme the Father, you could blaspheme the Son, but if you blaspheme the Ruach HaKodesh, you ain't got no forgiveness. Now, see, this ain't the Ruach HaKodesh here. But at the end of the day, she was, because again, that ain't came about yet with Mashiach's statement. She asking him to blaspheme Yahuwah. You give it to him, man. Leviticus 24, man. I think it's deep.
And the son of an Israelitish woman, whose father, an Egyptian, went out among the children of Yasharal. And this son of the Israelitish woman and a man of Yasharal strove together in the camp. And the Israelitish woman's son blasphemed the name and cursed. And they brought him unto Moses.
Give him blaspheme by definition and curse in that verse.
Blaspheme is nakab, pierce, perforate, bore, appoint. To blaspheme.
To blaspheme.
Curse.
To curse.
And curse is kalal, to be slight, be swift, be trifling, be of little account.
So also when you curse Yahuwah is to give, because remember what does it say that the beast's gonna do? Blaspheme his name, blaspheme his tabernacle. It's gonna hold him in little account.
Bring into contempt, to curse, despise.
Quran say you can look at it pictographically as lift up the son of the highest or subdue the son of the highest. So I can see how it can mean curse also. And we just didn't look at the characters. I think the characters is what? A'u and Kaf on that. That's one for Barak. If I'm not mistaken. I'm not looking at it, so I might be leaving something. Because see, when you want to blaspheme Elohim, that's what you really want to say. You got more power than him, or you can beat him. Continue this.
And they brought him unto Moses, and his mother's name was Shelomith, the daughter of Debri, of the tribe of Dan.
From the tribe of who?
Dan.
Okay.
And they put him in a ward that the mind of Yahuwah might be chosen.
Give a mind so they know what that is.
That is pay.
That's pay, that's the mouth. that the word of Yahuwah might be known to. Go ahead.
And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, bring forth him that cursed without the camp.
Bring
Let
forth
all
him
that
that
heard cursed without the camp.
Go ahead.
And let all that heard lay their hands upon his head, and let all the congregation stone him.
Let all the congregation do what?
Stone him.
Do what?
Stone him.
Okay.
And you shall speak unto the children of Yasharal, saying, whosoever curses Elohim shall bear his sin.
That look what she asked him to do. She was asking him to bear his own sin. Because she said, why are you retaining being perfect? Blaspheme and die. So you know what's funny, there, man? They paid attention to the first part and not the fact that she said, why you retaining perfection? Why in the midst of taking all these losses are you maintaining being perfect? Well, and then we were talking about Mashiach, got all his apostles left him. Peter denied him. You done gave up all these things in heaven to come down here. Why are you still maintaining your perfection? That would the people couldn't. If you be the son of God, come down from that tree. If you be this, matter of fact, a brother asked us in the room the other day. Hold on. Say, how come you don't ask us to look? Oh no, it ain't no particular reason. Just be moving and grooving, man. It ain't no particular reason in particular. I want y'all to think on this question I'm about to ask you. Did Yahushua ever plainly and simply declare that he was the Mashiach? And if so, where? Because the brother said that he never did that, which is not true, because he did.
When the first I thought about when Peter said it, he was like, "Oh man, they tell you."
I will allow it. Get him Matthew 16. Well, he got it. Hey, Madeline, I see you over there. 16 and what? 5.
He said 15 or
16. Matthew 16 and 5.
They said that when the disciples came to the other side, they had forgotten to take bread. And Yahushua said unto them, take heed and beware the leaven of the Pharisees and the Sadducees. That's why I don't know.
Might be
It's
low.
13. It's 13.
Come on, man.
It said when Yahushua came unto the coast of Caesarea and Philippi, he asked the disciples, saying, whom do men say that I, the Son of Man, am? And they said, some say thou art John the Baptist, some say Elijah, others say Jeremiah or one of the prophets.
What did the Lord say?
But whom say ye that I am?
And what did they say?
And Simon Peter said, thou art the Mashiach, the son of the living Elohim.
What the Lord said?
And Yahushua answered and said, Baruch art thou, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood have not revealed it unto you, but my Father which is in Shamahim.
So he just plainly and simply he acknowledged that he was correct. Quran got John 9:35, man. Go ahead with it. That's what you had.
That's all I was gonna say.
Nah, you weren't gonna say.
I was.
You were?
You mentioned it last time?
I did.
Yahushua heard that they had cast him out, and when he had found him, they said, does thou believe on the Son of Elohim? He answered and said, who is he, Master, that I might believe on him? And Yahushua said, thou hast both seen him, and it is he that thou talkest with, or he that talketh with thee.
That's good. That's good. Does any of you, the rest of you, does any of you have a spot where you can see where he plainly, on doors, he said that he was the Messiah? If not, I'm gonna tell Civic to hit you with a stick. But did he say he was the Messiah when he walked on water? But did he say it? The reason why I'm being particular, because this individual said that this man never said out his mouth that he was the Messiah. So we're not looking for words. He's saying Mashiach never said it. The reason why they were doing that to say, if he never said it, then how can we say that he is if he never said it? This is the idiocy of stupidity of niggas in the world.
It's one other one.
But see, that's there he telling them he was Elohim. But they were looking for, see, you'll have some of them dispute and say he ain't saying he Elohim. I told him one, the nigga couldn't deny.
The question was?
Where can we read what Mashiach said out his mouth that he was the Messiah?
Okay.
That's what I told the nigga too. And the reason why I told him that, because he was quoting a script. Give him Matthew 26 and 62. The Quran say, look, he got John 4 and 25. You do John 4 and 25 first. Hey, get from over there worrying about some candy. Sit down and pay attention while I give you some candy. It's called the sweet science. You want some science?
It said the woman said unto him, I know that the Messiah cometh, which is called the Mashiach, which he is come, he will tell us all things. And Yahushua said unto her, I speak that unto thee, and he.
So right there, he just told her, I am the person who you talking about. You know what I'm talking about? That's how you know these niggas don't be reading, for one. Matthew 26 and 62.
And the high priest arose and said unto him, answer you nothing, which these witnesses against you? But Yahushua held his peace and said, and the high priest answered and said unto him,
what he said?
I adjure you by the living
Allah. He said, I want you to swear before God
that you tell us whether you be the Mashiach, the son of Elohim.
What he say?
Yahushua said unto him, you have said.
You said it.
Nevertheless, I say unto you, hereafter shall you see the Son of Man
coming,
sitting on the right hand of power and coming in the clouds of Shamahim.
What did he just quote? He just quoted Daniel. Right there, he went further than telling them that he was the Mashiach. He said the book said it, nigga. Get Daniel 7 and 12. That's gangster right there. That's why I hit him with that. That gangster right there. He said the book said it, nigga. He said you said it and the word said it. He said you said, nevertheless, when you see me coming in the right hand of power, nigga, just know you going to hell. You know that, Mr. Smarty Man. Because guess what? He asked him he adored them by the living Elohim, so he couldn't lie. So instead of being proud like most people would have been, yeah, Mashiach, he said, man, go read that Daniel and then come back and holler at him. I look at the Lord, pray the Lord. Let's see, that's gangster right now. Why you sitting right here? Get this nigga out here. John 18 and 11 for this nigga here. Oh, yeah, you doing it with your husband.
I didn't know.
You going to summer school with Kalisha.
She did the same. She did the same. She did the same.
So everybody going to summer school.
Y'all see it?
No, they doing that because they focus on finding it. Get that Mark 14 and 62. I know why you did it.
But you found it. You found it. I say raise your hand.
Come on, give me Mark 14 and 62. You might as well come on with what you were finna come with. Nigga who got to see me when she have her baby.
It says, and Yahushua said, I am, and shall see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power.
Okay, that's the same thing in Matthew 26. That's the same thing. What you saying? Okay, get that John 14 and 6.
It says, Yahushua said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto me, but no one comes to the Father but by me.
I'll accept that because that's you got to know the word to know that he just said he was the Messiah. That's when they ain't playing. No, that's the same. That's the same thing he said in Matthew 26. We're just quoting the Daniel 7, which we're finna go look at. Come over here, this John 18 and 11.
It says, then said Yahushua to Peter, put up thy sword unto the sheath. The cup which my Father hath given me, shall I not drink it? Shall I not drink it? Then the band of the captain of the army.
So that was a little different because you had to know the word. Know what I'm saying? See, that's different because we know the word. So you'll see that and be like, he telling them that right here. See, for the goofy niggas, they wanted to be playing. You know what I'm saying? What y'all just did is not incorrect. I know the word. I know when he say this cup pass, it pertains to this person. So I know he just told him, I'm the Messiah. We know that. Praise you for understanding, but the goofy nigga don't.
Did he do it with Pilate too?
I think Pilate asked him, was he king? And he said, you said it. He said, who told you this? You said this of yourself or another man? You know what I'm saying? The Lord was gangster with this, boy. You know what I'm saying? He talking to these niggas like, what you mean? What's wrong with you, nigga? Come on, Daniel 7 and 12, man.
He said, like, you wouldn't have his palace, my father.
Yeah, that's telling them. But that's you knowing the word. You see, they gonna look at it, I want it plain. And then the Quran, he said he couldn't find nobody greater to, so he swore by himself. You know what I'm talking about? Which is another, you got to know the word. That wouldn't suffice individuals such as that gentleman now. He didn't have nothing for that Matthew 26 because he knew that was book and he knew that pertained to the anointed one. He couldn't say that. Matthew 7, man, verse 12. I mean, Daniel 7, verse 12.
It says, as concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away. Right. They had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and time. I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of Shamahim. He came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him.
And what they do?
And they was giving him dominion and esteem.
And a what?
And a kingdom.
Remember what he said, right? I'll make the law honorable and will make it great and honorable. Ain't that what he said? Ain't he making the law great and honorable right now? Because he was the word made what? Oh, okay. Come on.
And esteem and a kingdom that all people, nations, languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and his kingdom which shall not be destroyed. I, Daniel, was grieved in my ruach.
That's good right there. So when he told him that, he told him that he was the Mashiach, and they knew it. So remember, what did the high priest say? What furthermore do we need to hear his blasphemy? They knew exactly what he was saying and why he said it. You know what I'm talking about? Well, not why he said it, but they knew what he meant and what he was proclaiming to be. Come on back to Job chapter 2. Amen, Ron. We in Job 2 and 9. Here's a shadow. Job 2 and 9.
It say, then said his wife unto him, does thou still retain thy integrity? Curse Elohim and die.
But he said
unto her, thou speakest as one of the foolish women speak.
What?
Shall we receive good at the hand of Elohim, and
shall we not receive
evil? And all this did not Job sin with his lips.
Now, why is this important with good and evil? Because remember, Mashiach drunk that cup, he received good from Yahuwah the whole time he was walking. But the minute he drunk that cup, he had to receive what? Evil. And guess what? Guess what Job's wife was doing? She was denying Elohim, saying that, you know what? You should say you don't know him, just like who? Just like people. That's what she was asking him to do. You know what I'm talking about? Deny him. Deny him. You know what the words say, blessed are those who will not be what? Offended in me. See when they say, well, why the apostles get it past? Because he had already told them, all y'all gonna be offended in me tonight. You know what I'm talking about? All y'all gonna, but see, we went through all that, and it's still some more to derive out of verse 21, because he said Yahuwah will do what to righteousness? He delights in it. And he said in the Torah, he will make it great and honorable. He will magnify it and esteem it. So the fact when Mashiach told them, hey man, you're gonna see me coming in the clouds of heaven, because I will be magnified and esteemed, John 17 and 1.
These words spake Yahushua and lifted up his eyes to Shamahim and said, Father, the hour is come. Esteem the Son, that your Son may also esteem you. As you have given him power over all flesh, that he should give eternal life to as many as you have given him.
That's right.
And this is life eternal.
What's life eternal?
That they might know you, the only true Elohim.
The only who?
True Elohim.
Remember what we were talking about with true? Because he's going to be called Yahuwah what? All right. Zadok, so that you might know the only true Elohim, the only true power.
Yahushua HaMashiach, whom you have sent.
Whom he what?
Have sent. I have esteemed you on the earth. I have finished the work which you gave me to do.
What else?
And now, O Father, esteem you me with your own self.
So since he's made the law honorable, because what the book say? They done violence to what? Zephaniah 3. Get it for them. 3 and 4. Yeah.
It said her prophets are light and treacherous persons. Her priests have polluted the sanctuary, and they have done violence to the Torah.
They done violence to what?
To the Torah.
How they gonna do violence to some words? Give them violence by definition. You can't do violence to no words. How you gonna do violence to a scroll?
Kamas. Maltreat, violate.
Maltreat and violate. Did they not violate Mashiach? Did they not treat him poorly? Then we didn't read the other day that they oppressed the poor and needy. That sounds like that hurt you, son. That boy, they'll be ready for a good joke. So Listen to it. He said they did violence to the law. What else did they do?
It says the just Yahuwah is in the midst.
Who's in the midst?
The just
The righteous Yahuwah is in the midst. What he said that man's name will be called. Give him just and see if I say you Zadok Yahuwah. I know it. We just wanted to confirm.
Just lawful righteous man.
Zadok Yahuwah, just like in Jeremiah, didn't it? So just when you turn around and see the just who falling, how many times? Well, it's Zadok Yahuwah falling 7 times. Go ahead. What's wrong with you, Jordan?
It says he will not do iniquity.
He won't do what?
He will not do iniquity. Every morning doth he bring his judgment to light.
So guess what? He ain't doing no perversity. Give him iniquity by definition. Oh, praise Yahuwah, man.
That's the old law.
What do you mean?
Iniquity, perversity.
No perversity in Yahuwah. Now what you see what a lot of people doing, they like to pervert the word of Yahuwah. You know what I'm talking about? Come on back where we was at before.
John 17.
John 17, where you at, verse 4?
Verse 5.
Verse 5. Come on, man.
And now, O Father, esteem you me with your own self, with the esteem which I had with you before the world was.
Before the world what?
Was. I have manifested your name unto the men which you gave me out of the world.
He said before the world war. So again, he said he gonna take the Torah and he gonna make it honorable and esteem it. He gonna make it great and honorable. So we got to get to all that before you can get to the fact of him redoing creation. You know what I'm talking about? Because the creation was honorable when he did it the first time. But then, of course, he got to do it again upon his return. Because at evening time, it shall be what? Then we just see in Zephaniah, he say in the daytime, he bring his judgment to light. He going to bring right and wrong to light in the day in the sight of all men. But see, it was just that part in Job that came to my mind. Like, hey, man, he say a man will give for his life, a man will give everything that he got. But see, Yahushua didn't give everything he got for his life. He gave everything he got for your life. And your life, everybody's life. Somebody played a little clip, a dude talking about why would a good God send people to hell? And he said, well, you already on your road to hell. And that's why he sent his son, so you could jump in the lifeboat. See, people want to sit back and see, and he said it in a nice fashion, but I would have just said it simply like this here. You're sending yourself to hell. Don't blame God for the choices and decisions that you make that's against his will when you know it's consequences and repercussions for it. Because you don't blame Mr. Charlie when he send you up that road. You know, if you went on that job and they told you don't burn that ticket today and you burnt it and they fired you, you ain't blame them for it. Michael knew they gave y'all procedures probably every day about their money there. And they knew, boy, they might let you slide if a dollar came up missing, maybe even 20. Let a stack come up missing. And you know you took it. You fired and you're going to jail. You know what I'm talking about? At least you're going to talk to the police if they can't find the money on you right then. You know what I'm talking about? Somebody going to jail, somebody losing their job. But is it the bank fault that they fired you because you took their money? Or they supposed to show you some grace, huh? So you can come back tomorrow and steal some more. You know what I'm talking about? For real though, this is how people be thinking. Shoot, man, the people shouldn't have fired me, man. Man, that messed up. Did you steal the people's money? Yeah, I stole it. What you talking about? Man, they ain't have to fire a nigga though.
That's just like a nigga.
That's just like a nigga, ain't it? That's what niggas like to say. That's what niggas like to do. Niggas people been done killed 2 niggas in the hood. Man, they ain't have to give bro that life sentence. Nigga, he killed somebody.
He earned that life sentence.
He earned that life sentence. And them crackers dirty, man. Gave that boy life. He took life. What was he supposed to get? Man, they could have let that nigga come home, man. They let them white boys come home. Clearly, you ain't never been to prison. There's plenty of white boy killers up there looking stupid in the face every day. Civic, no. Hey, don't get me wrong, right? Don't get it misconstrued. Caucasians usually get lesser time than you for the same crime. But if you think they ain't bamming and hiding white folks up that road, well, you smoking crack. Man, I remember I was locked up, dude talking about, man, white boy get off all the time. White boy stood up and said, you's a lie. They just gave me a good fresh 15 today.
I was saying the fresh 15. A 15 he never walked.
What he did, he was like, hey man, shoot. He said, use a lot, boy, they gave me 15. You know what I'm talking about? Like straight up and down. You know what I'm saying?
I was saying like a new pair of shoes.
And Sean said, dude ain't come to work for a couple days straight and thought he still had a job. See, that's a nigga for you. A nigga will slide off, don't come to work, and then feel like, oh, I'm ready to come back. Like this job was waiting for you. Do I got simp written across my chest? Nigga, you fired yourself. Oh, I ain't got my job, bro.
But tell me
And you ain't think to call, and he said, and the nigga would throw. That's another thing black folks like to do. They like to go on people's job and tell you what they ain't gonna do when this is what you agreed to do, so you can get the job. They say your job entails taking out the trash. I'm taking that out there. But that's your job.
I was just kidding.
Hallelujah for Yahushua. We're gonna slide on out of here, man. I bless y'all the house hallelujah in the name of Yahushua. You who willing, man, we're gonna pick this up on Wednesday, make it do what it do. You know, just go ahead and consider we got more to do. We got a lot to look at. We ain't rushing through it. We taking our time. So shalom, man. Y'all willing, man. Till Wednesday.
But you don't listen.
He said allegedly.